Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins. Isaiah Isaiah chapter 50. Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the
del mar los vieron llegar. Mis hermanos emplumados serán los hombres barbados de la profecía esperada. Se oyó la voz del monarca de que el Dios había llegado y les abrimos la puerta. Por temor a lo ignorado, iban montados en bestias, como demonios del mal, iban con fuego en las manos y cubiertos de metal. Solo el valor de unos cuantos les opuso resistencia, y al mirar correr la sangre se llenaron de vergüenza, porque los dioses ni comen ni gozan con lo robado. Y cuando nos dimos cuenta, ya todo estaba acabado, y en ese error entregamos la grandeza del pasado, y en ese error nos quedamos 300 años esclavos. Se nos quedó el maleficio de brindar al extranjero nuestra fe, nuestra cultura, nuestro pan, nuestro dinero, y le seguimos cambiando oro por cuentas de vidrio, y damos nuestras riquezas por sus espejos con brillo del mar. Siglo XX nos siguen llegando rubios y les abrimos la casa y los llamamos amigos, pero si llega cansado un indio de andar la sierra, lo humillamos y lo vemos como extraño por su tierra. libre a mi gente.
Nacimos para ser perseguidos, somos hispanos, hoy más que nunca unidos, todos juntos como hermanos. Échele huevo siempre pa' adelante, mi paisano, verde, blanco y rojo, que viva por siempre el mexicano. Nacimos para ser perseguidos, somos hispanos, hoy más que nunca unidos, todos juntos como hermanos. Échele huevo siempre pa' adelante, mi paisano, verde, blanco y rojo, que viva por siempre el mexicano. Si tan solo existieran mejores oportunidades en el país, ninguno de nuestros paisanos tendría por qué abandonar su raíz. Dios por delante, deja su chante con el sueño de salir para adelante. No es un criminal, solo galo el hambre, no lo para un muro, tampoco un alambre. Su decisión, su economía, no le permite aguantar otro día. Sabe que tiene que rifarse el cuero para poder llevar comida para la casa. Rajarse no está permitido porque el mexicano en eso no fracasa. Lejos de todo, lugares nuevos, lo único que le queda echarle huevos. No entiende el idioma, no tiene el color, solo está buscando una vida mejor para él y su raza que en casa lo esperan. Con mucho esfuerzo cruzó la frontera. Los esposan como si fueran criminales, ante los ojos de Dios toditos somos iguales. Fuerza latina, la unión es el arma. Nadie se salva de la justicia divina y el karma. Ice, ice, pa' que se cansan en deportar. Si no se echan pa'l otro mes, les juro acá vamos a andar. Mejor vamos llevando todos la fiesta tranquilos, que pa'l trabajo saben que somos los chilos. Sin nosotros el país no puede avanzar, solo pedimos que nos dejen trabajar. Tengan cuidado mis señores y señoras, que Dios bendiga las manos trabajadoras. Nacimos para ser perseguidos, somos hispanos, hoy más que nunca unidos, todos juntos como hermanos. Échele huevos siempre pa' adelante, mi paisano, verde, blanco y rojo, que viva por siempre el mexicano. Nacimos para ser perseguidos, somos hispanos, hoy más que nunca unidos, todos juntos como hermanos. Échele huevos siempre pa' adelante, mi paisano, verde, blanco y rojo, que viva por siempre el mexicano. Juzgar a quienes han emigrado no solo es injusto, pues no conocemos sus historias. Es además una crueldad añadida al dolor de estar lejos. Que viva el pueblo latino. Compa Chente Loco, Mexicana Gio Cordero, el compa Rodrigo y J. Mani. Acá somos puro Team Mexa. Que viva el pueblo mexicano, que vivan todos mis paisanos.
¿En qué cabeza cabe? No sean estúpidos, no sean imbéciles, que no se dan cuenta de la estupidez en la que caen. Ustedes son incapaces de trabajar por lo que aman, ustedes solo odian, están llenos de ira, de resentimiento, de envidia. Y sí, apoyan a Milei, a Bukele, a Trump, a Giorgia Meloni, a todos los que quieren un cambio. Ustedes ni siquiera se aman a sí mismos. Esa es la gran diferencia.
Otro más que se le olvidó que el pueblo le ha matado el hambre. Un papel no te hace mexicano, eso se lleva en la sangre. Buscaste la ciudadanía para trabajar, porque de donde eres como actor no había para tragar. Anyways, me sorprende que ames a Milei. Si tanto lo apoya, lárgate a vivir bajo su ley en Argentina, de donde se supone es tu raíz. Tú no me representas, este no es tu país. Después de tantos años que de México has vestido, después de tantas novelas que el pueblo ha consumido, después de tantos platos que de México has comido, nos sorprende que seas un desagradecido. Acá ya no eres nadie, tan solo un vil pelele. Vete pa'l Salvador, pues no que amas tanto a Bukele. 3 doritos después te veré pidiendo clemencia. Creía que la vejez es sinónimo de inteligencia. Otro más que se ha sumado a la lista. Tú no eres mexicano, tú eres un oportunista, un aprovechado como tantos hoy en día, que pidió la ciudadanía porque le convenía. Denle, 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 no pierdan el tino. Denle a la piñata de este derbez argentino. Vete pa' tu rancho a ver si muy más aguanta, que en México ya eres una persona no grata. Juan Ferro o Tiziano Soler decidan cuál suena mejor y cuál le vamos a poner. A este mal agradecido que en la mano fue a morder, espero hayas ahorrado porque ya no te vamos a ver. Este país te hizo grande, te hizo rico y aún así lo insultas abriendo de más el pico. Un dicho dice que el pez por su propia boca muere. Vete pa' tu padre porque acá ya nadie te quiere. Ahora resulta que te tenemos envidia, si mi nación es la que a ti te subsidia. Acá eres el intruso, acá eres el vividor. Tú eres el doble cara, eres el que anda de hablador. Tú no eres mexicano, tú eres un convenenciero que nombra mi bandera solo por éxito y dinero. Conocemos a los de tu calaña, no son nuevos. Para ser mexicano te hacen falta muchos huevos. Otro más que se ha sumado a la lista. Tú no eres mexicano, tú eres un oportunista, un aprovechado como tantos hoy en día que pidió la ciudadanía porque le convenía. Denle, 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 no pierdan el tino. Denle a la piñata de este derbez argentino. Vete pa' tu rancho a ver si muy más acuata, que en México ya eres una persona no grata. Otro más que se ha sumado a la lista. Tú no eres mexicano, tú eres un oportunista, un aprovechado como tantos hoy en día que pidió la ciudadanía porque le convenía. Denle, 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 no pierdan el tino. Denle a la piñata de este derbez argentino. Vete pa' tu rancho a ver si muy más acuata, que en México ya eres una persona no grata.
Viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento lo mismo que lo decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo, el engaño los adornaron, desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva. La costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
Hey. Good evening. Good evening. Hope you guys enjoyed the songs. I purposely play them. Sometimes I just play things, but for the most part, I purposely play music. That's a purpose, by the way. I'm going to take you through a series of things today. Just want to get you guys a heads up. We're going to go into this book several times. I'm going to show you some videos, and then hopefully you brothers can continue with me in some scripture. And let me say what's up to the gente here. What's up? La Meshi, good to have you here, sis. Thank you for your support. V Ladder, what up, bro? What's up, dog? What up, all AWB77? Who are you? In case you guys don't know, this book is a, I don't know about now with the way politics is moving. But this was or is a requirement in Chicano studies. Book is called Occupied America, A History of Chicanos. Chicanos. Rodolfo Acuña, 3rd edition. So I have the first and the third, not the second one. I only know about this because my wife, she went to college. Well, not that much, but 2 years at least. I think she should have an associate's. She declared it. I'm not sure. And I think she has not. Matter of fact, I need to talk to her about that. Anyhow, side point. But she had in one of these boxes that we had saved from a long time ago, right around at this time where I was waking up to these things. And I happened to grab that book and I'm like, hey, where'd you get this book from? Oh, it was from my Chicano studies class, blah, 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 blah. And I just grabbed it. There are several sections that I could show you, but I had highlighted these sections years ago. So I want to kind of go back to that thought process. You know what I'm saying? But before we do, there's a purpose why this class is named what it's named. Possessive investment in whiteness. Whiteness.
¡Viva México, cabrones!
Here, let me say this.
Fuck that puto! Fuck that puto!
See, there's a difference between the way that I say things and also how I feel about them compared to them. And so should you all. Because if you really think about this, there's a difference between hate and being really angry. This is perpetual hate. You guys know the scripture. Somebody can get it. At the same time, when they call you always, all the time, illegal, alien, and then you hear about the erasure of others claiming to be Native American now and then. I mean, they've been doing this for quite some time, especially with those fried-eyed, $5, especially with them. So I want to bring you to the atención de que el erasure is lo and behold here. And I had told y'all this from 2022, they're going to turn against y'all hardcore like this. You guys were just barely getting the feel for it. I'm telling you. Anyhow, so let's begin. This sister here has a message, and I'm glad it's getting out. Thank you, brother, for sending it.
Quédate conmigo mientras de que te explico un fenómeno que está pasando ahorita en los Estados Unidos. Estamos viendo un incremento de europeos americanos y afrodescendientes saliendo a las redes sociales muy agresivamente a decir que ellos son los verdaderos nativos o indígenas de los Estados Unidos.
So she's saying that in TikTok, she's seeing Afro descendants and blancos. I don't know what she calls it, porque los afrodescendientes, I guess African Americans, she wants to call them Afro, well, she calls them Afro. Afrodescendientes y los blancos. Basically, these two people are claiming to be native of this land. Oh, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a video where you're going to like, what the? For real. For real. Let's continue. And by the way, I just want to say something. For anybody that comes to this channel assuming that I teach hate, you have zero fucking idea how long it's been since we've even known about words. When they got here, they did not allow the Mexicas and further down the ability to read or write, let alone read the Bible. So why would these people keep the Bible away from us if it was so evil, like what people say today? You have to be mindful. So when I come with information, I want to grab my heritage back. Of course, there is no other way. You cannot be to and fro. You got to speak with conviction, because that's what has to be in your mind. Conviction is basically, you know for sure. If you burn, oh well, that's all I knew. That's all I've been programmed to know. Oh well, I'm not going to sit here and fucking worry about it too much. You guys are out of your mind. To and fro. Lukewarm is not going to work. Thinking you know a lot is not going to work, because if you can't apply it and your situation around you is effed up, then you ain't gonna change. Now, why am I sharing this also? Why is this important? Because some of those say, well, what's your answer? You want to know what the answer is? Believe it or not, get out of those damn rooms that are teaching you lies. That's the first thing. Because a lot of our gente that is going through this shit, they're church goers every fucking Sunday. You guys forget about that. You guys forget about what this means here. This isn't just about, battling people. Oh, let me debate and prove that you're not these people. Fine, we got it now. But you guys aren't paying attention to this shit at all. Well, zero. No, you want to get entertained by some cholo shit or some news anchor or some movie or some fucking Netflix or TikTok, dumb shit. Instead of studying your history, what do you guys think I fucking do in my private time? You guys think I just twiddle my thumbs and shit? I'm either working or I'm doing this. It said that these things would happen. And one example will be for us to know is that when these things happen, at the end, we'll be serving wood and stone. We'll be worshiping wood and stone. After all of these curses, after all the destruction, after taking our land, taking our food, taking our, heritage, people from a different place out of town, you know what I'm saying? They're going to come as an eagle. They're going to scare the shit out of our gente, destroy our people heavily. Smallpox and all that obviously helped tremendously, right? And all these other illnesses that we also got. The transporting of our people across the world wasn't as heavy as the decimation of our gente through smallpox and all these other heavy-duty diseases. So after all of this shit that the Most High brings to naught, right? We're going to be shown an example. 28:64 on Deuteronomy says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto another, and there thou shalt serve other gods. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen here either, dumbasses, because guess what? Some of us were way down south and were brought up north or brought to the islands. I have a book from 1848 through 1865 where they were still taking Mayas to the islands of Cuba, selling them as contracts, but in reality, perpetual slavery. Supposedly indentured servitude, because that's technically what a contract is. You guys don't understand. It's literally telling you that when this is all said and done, right, you're going to serve other gods of wood and stone. What do we see? Stone buildings to make you believe, to follow religion, and wood crosses to make you assume that that's the so-called way. And the Virgin Mary had sex with an angel. That's what these religions have taught. December 12th is coming up in about, 5 months, 6 months? No, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5. Do you know what they do? They crawl on their knees to the so-called Queen of Heaven. Literally telling you in Deuteronomy 28 that you are going to experience all of these things. And one of the hints that you're going to find out about who you're serving is people with other religions that'll make you and break you to the point where you'll even carry. Some of us, I remember Raza, I used to carry a wood cross. I did. I was raised Catholic. Deuteronomy 28:64, brother. What book is this? This is Deuteronomy 28:64. So check this. It says, scattered you among all people, right? So again, and then it says, among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall thy sole of thy foot have rest. Like, isn't this going on right now? Border Patrol going crazy on our gente. A lot of people that are not documented, they had, dude, can you, I remember having a warrant when I was like, listen, family, I'm telling you, I was bottom barrel type of shit. I had a warrant for, I don't even know how long. It was like 10 years, I think. You know what I'm saying? And it was, misdemeanor DUI. That's all basic shit. But still, you shouldn't do that. And the warrant, that's right. The warrant lasted, it lasted a few years, right? I remember having to wake up every morning nervous to hear the doorbell ring, nervous to hear the door knock. Nervous. I was always nervous because that was in the back of my mind. Find no ease. So if you're undocumented, imagine what that feels like every fucking day. Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. And what happens when they get caught up? Bam! They get chased. Yeah, you could think of no. Hold on. I know what you mean by now. I know what you're talking about. The Maya. Hold on. Let me go through the class. Remind me of that shit. I mean, because I probably will pull it up, but I just want to get through these pieces. Because if I go left, bro, I'll waste more time. Not waste time, but you know what I mean. I'll be on live more, and I'll probably miss good information to share. So remind me. And among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall thou the sole of thy foot have rest. See? But the Lord shall give thee a trembling heart and a failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. Trembling heart. Are you guys not paying attention to the news? When our gente gets picked up, you don't see how they're fucking crying and yelling and shit? And the failing of eyes, looking at people, help me, please, help me. And sorrow of mind when you get taken. That's it. You don't know where you're at now. God, man, that's so crazy, bro. You ain't going to get to see your kids. The day that you had, like every one of us has a very normal day, supposedly, right? You wake up in the morning, you go to work, whatever. You see your kids, yada, yada, your family, husband, wife, whatever. You know what I mean? Whoever you get up in the morning with and come back to, or whatever you get up in the morning with and come back to. It's a routine. All of us have it. Eventually, it kind of changes, but usually you have that. So when I say goodbye to someone, I expect to come home. That is right there, sorrow of mine. Sorrow of mine. A lot of you guys always wonder, and I always tell people, okay, well, everybody went through this. In the entire world, everyone has gone through this. Deuteronomy 16 through 19. Everybody, every nation can apply this to each other. Because when they were fighting, you know what I'm saying? They would submit each other, and this would happen. This too. But the only difference is that until thou perish quickly. The interesting part about this verse here, no matter how you translate it, if you look word for word, it still leads to the same thing. As you can see, it's step by step. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee. And thou perish quickly. A lot of us perish. Verse 22, the Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with inflammation, and with extreme burning. Verse 27, the Lord shall smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch. Now, if you guys had viruelas before, you would know what that feels like. That shit is crazy. And yes, it's very insane. I honestly tried to debunk this myself. I remember coming back to my wife probably every other night. Damn, babe, look what I found. Damn, babe, look what I found. Damn, babe, look what I found. That's like the more I tried to prove myself that I wasn't a Hebrew, the more fucking shit I kept finding. It was like that for me. Let's finish this video. It's kind of long, but you want to know something? You need to hear this. I'll probably pause it like halfway through. I'll do that. At 2.5, I'll pause it.
Quédate conmigo mientras de que te explico un fenómeno que está pasando ahorita en los Estados Unidos. Estamos viendo un incremento de europeos americanos y afrodescendientes saliendo a las redes sociales muy agresivamente a decir que ellos son los verdaderos nativos o indígenas de los Estados Unidos y que nosotros los mexicanos, los indígenas y los nativos son unos invasores. Que no somos los reales indígenas del continente americano. Y bueno, es muy simple. Lo único que tendríamos que hacer es tomarnos una prueba de ADN para ver quiénes son los verdaderos indígenas o nativos del continente americano. Pero obvio, no vamos a hablar de eso. Vamos a hablar del libro en donde yo agarré toda esta información. Se llama A True History of the United States. Y quiero explicarte solamente de la página 4 a la 6. Así de repleto de información está este libro. La historia no se repite, pero sí rima. Y si vivimos sin saberlo, La vamos a volver a repetir. Hoy en Estados Unidos criminalizan a los inmigrantes, especialmente los que vienen de México y de Centro y Suramérica. Dicen que somos una invasión. Dicen que estamos reemplazando a los verdaderos americanos. Y mientras de que nos deportan, nos humillan, nos privan de nuestra humanidad, muchos desde adentro están diciendo que ellos son los verdaderos nativos indígenas de los Estados Unidos. Son blancos, afroamericanos, nacionalistas cristianos, todos ellos, qué bellos, afirmando que los pueblos originarios, los de México, los del sur, no son los verdaderos, que son unos intrusos. ¿Dónde hemos visto esto antes? Te voy a llevar a 1676, a Virginia, a la rebelión de Bacon. Un colono blanco, Nathaniel Bacon, lideró una revuelta.
My bad. Okay, fam. Sorry. I guess I was on mute. My dispenser. No, hold on a second. Hold on.
Fuck that puto.
Sorry, man. Hold on a second. I need to come on, step it up, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I'm talking to myself, by the way. Like, that's my bad. I need to check on that shit. So what she's talking about is the rebellion of Bacon. So let me play it again.
Te voy a llevar a 1676, a Virginia, a la rebelión de Bacon. Un colono blanco, Nathaniel Bacon, lideró una revuelta de sirvientes blancos pobres y africanos esclavizados. Se levantaron armados, pero no contra el poder colonial directamente. No, todo lo contrario, mi banda. Se levantaron en contra de los pueblos indígenas.
Okay, all right. So she's talking about the rebellion Bacon. This is interesting. I have the book. This is a hard copy, and I know because this is what they look like when I take pictures of them. So it says here, what page would it be? 77. I'll try to find the book. It says, again, in 1666, and barely a decade before the onset of Bacon's rebellion, you see what she's talking about, that same thing. Governor Berkeley issued an order against the Rappahannock River tribes. You see that? Issued an order. Now, what she's talking about, and what I've said before, is the black and white colonizers have always worked together. Whether one had the superiority than the other, I don't give a fuck. That's between you guys. But I know what you did here to our people in our lands. Members of these tribes allegedly murdered some colonists in that section in violation of the Treaty of 1646. But what we've seen from history is that these people like to trigger the problem. You understand what I'm saying? With the 1660 and 1661 Retribution Act in place, so this is, the general court, basically, they passed the law. Berkeley presiding declared that for revenge, pay attention, of the alleged murders and for prevention of future mischief, the tribes would be prosecuted with war and their women and children taken and then disposed of according to such instructions as shall be issued from the Right Honorable the Governor. Now keep this in mind. Their women and their children. Around that time in 1662, they passed this law. And this is why I say it was nothing to do with these other nations. It had everything to do with our indigenous people. Partu sequitur ventrum was a legal doctrine passed in colonial Virginia, 1662. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. 1661 Retribution Act, prosecuted the war and their women and children taken and disposed of according to such instructions as shall be issued from the Right Honorable the Governor. Aren't they doing the same thing right now? Aren't they doing the same thing right now? Taking out the children and the women? Are we not seeing that shit? We just read in the scriptures about how that continues? So in case you guys don't know, this is applying to you, not these other nations. And a lot of you guys are too embarrassed to fucking say that shit, as if it never happened to our gente. What the hell's wrong with you guys? Partus equitur ventrum, that which is born follows the womb, meaning that if you are a woman, you have a baby, that baby, I'm sorry, if you're a woman and you're a slave and you have a baby, that baby will be a slave like you. Did they not try to get rid of the 14th Amendment that would give undocumented women the right to have a child in this land and have that child be so-called American citizen? And I say so-called because these are just terminologies, right? You get what I'm saying? It's exactly the same thing, but in a different concept with the same flavor. And you guys are not seeing it. This is why I say you prefer to get entertained with bullshit stories, bullshit channels, bullshit lies, and you don't even pay attention to the fact that these things have happened to us for quite some time. It says here, the doctrine mandated that children of enslaved mothers would inherit the legal status of their mothers. You see that? So, for example, if they got rid of the 14th Amendment and we have a sister that's undocumented, that baby would be undocumented too, even if it was born in this country, which was totally against their quote-unquote constitution. She's talking about that rebellion. That rebellion of Bakan started a lot of shit, family. And this is why I tell you that black and white folks did this together as well. She's going to say it right now, not me. Watch, check it.
Querían más tierra, querían más expansión, y para eso necesitaban más sangre indígena. Y la élite blanca, por supuesto, temió algo más profundo, que los oprimidos, blancos pobres y africanos esclavizados se unieran. Su solución, dividir, crear una jerarquía racial. Y ahí inventaron el blanco como identidad superior.
You see that right there? These things are written in these books. What a coincidence. With the 1661 Retribution Act in place, that Retribution Act has a lot of amendments to it. You know what I'm saying? Like added laws that would cause these other things, partus equitur ventrum, because it's the following year that it happened. And what a coincidence. I've told you, but hey, listen, in 1646 is not that far from actual people doing Freemasonry. Come on, man. Let's Prince Hall Masonry. Stop it. Don't lie to us no more. Right. You see that? They couldn't, the court struck it down, but I'm sure they'll try again some other way. So she's talking about this right here. See? There's for share of the booty. I mean, that don't mean like booty shit, but then again, these people, I don't know, bro. You know what I mean? Like, they're weird. But this is what she's talking about. Now, let's continue. What is the point?
Después de esa revuelta nacieron las primeras leyes que hicieron varias cosas. Legalizaron la esclavitud racial hereditaria, prohibieron el mestizaje y dieron pequeños privilegios a los blancos pobres para que se sintieran mejor que todos los demás. Así, mis chavos, nació el racismo estructurado. No como odio ciego, no, sino como una estrategia para proteger a los élites blancos. ¿Qué tiene que ver todo eso con lo que está pasando ahorita en los Estados Unidos? Te voy a explicar. Hoy, los inmigrantes e indígenas son el target del odio estadounidense. Se nos está negando nuestra historia, se está borrando nuestra identidad. Y otra vez, como lo hicieron antes, están sembrando confusión. Grupos no indígenas reclamando ser los originales, mientras de que a nosotros nos dicen usurpadores. Quieren que nos peleemos entre nosotros, que los afrodescendientes odien a los latinos, a los mexicanos, a los indígenas nativos del continente americano. El mestizo odia al inmigrante. ¡Güey! Hasta los mismos inmigrantes ignorantes están creyéndose la historia. Quieren que otra vez el pobre defienda las fronteras del rico. Porque cuando el pueblo se une, el poder tiembla. Y eso es a lo que le teme más. La rebelión de Bacon no fue un acto de justicia, fue una advertencia. Nos enseñó cómo el sistema crea el racismo para evitar la unión de los oprimidos. Y hoy, frente a la criminalización del inmigrante, borrando al indígena y las nuevas formas de supremacía disfrazada, no podemos permitir que esta historia se repita. Porque
See, I think now, then maybe, just maybe, you may start understanding why this book was important for us to find. This is from the Maya conquistadors. Well, give me a second, family. What's up, Eric? All right. From Maya conquistadors, page 160. Remember, keep in mind, these are in the 1567. You get what I'm saying? Yucatan. Because it is truly necessary that they come into our district. For it happened that since the arrival of the bishop whom you sent, named Fray Francisco Torel, he brought and distributed black padres. They are falsely named clergymen. He appointed them to take care of the kahab. And it's funny because some people actually say that as a word, but they think they know more than some of us who are actually like indigenous in Hebrew. But then again, what can you do? Within our district, that they speak the word of Dios to us, and also so that they might say mass for us to watch. So here we see like black padres. Like, what do you mean, bro? We'll do it again here. Let me see, is it this one? Page 161. No way. It says, for they do not love us, nor are we in their hearts. Furthermore, we are not accustomed to being among them. We have spoken to them only a few times to see this and say that. Know that they really devote themselves to us, although we need them. So now we are inquiring of understanding of the way of the black padres. But that's Maya Conquistadors. Get the book. There's a lot more information in there. Let's continue.
que otra vez los pobres afrodescendientes, los pobres blancos, se están uniendo en contra de un target. Nosotros, porque están desesperados por no ser ellos otra vez los esclavos, los sirvientes pagados. Y así como lo fue ayer, hoy miran a la nueva frontera, a México, al mexicano, al indígena, al nativo. Y la desesperación los está llevando a usurpar nuestra identidad. Porque para evitar el golpe de la supremacía blanca, tienen que encontrar a un puerco expiatorio. Por eso es muy importante la lectura. Por eso es muy importante la historia.
What she said, that's why it's important to read. That's why it's important to know history. This wasn't premeditated. I didn't go this far in the video. I usually don't. If I go halfway and things are decent, okay, let's see what happens after, right? But now I didn't hear her say that before. Man, all praises and glory to our creator. Listen.
A usurpar nuestra identidad. Porque para evitar el golpe de la supremacía blanca, tienen que encontrar a un puerco expiatorio. Por eso es muy importante la lectura. Por eso es muy importante la historia. Yo ya no les voy a hablar de las leyes injustas de migración aquí en los Estados Unidos. No lo he hecho por algún tiempo. Y estoy tratando de regresar otra vez a lo que es mi contenido, la historia. Desde hoy en adelante les voy a subir libros, les voy a subir capítulos, les voy a subir historias para que aprendan. Utilícenlo de la manera.
See that? That's what I've been doing for a while, right? But it's not about credit. No. It's not about credit, family. That's not what I'm saying. That I'm so glad that's gonna, that, you know what I'm saying? Other people are willing to do that. Give us our history. Like, for example, I didn't know that in September 7th, 1900, meaning 1900, there was still prohibition for our people to learn how to read the Bible, let alone have it, even in the different dialects that our gente spoke. Do you understand what that means? To find out and say, oh, now I understand why our situation as a nation is that way. Remember, keep in mind, since they got here with the Christian compendium, all we were allowed to know was Ave Maria, Padre Nuestro, Diez Mandamientos. Here, I'll prove it. Diez Mandamientos, El Credo, and Rosario. All right. Here. Is this one? I think it's this one. It's in that book. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, check it. It's in Spanish. All right, it's on page 16. It's in English too, but I'm going to read it in Spanish this time because I've read it in English several times. Dice, de acuerdo con los españoles, el único conocimiento que podía adquirir un indio era el Padre Nuestro, el Ave María, el Credo y los 10 mandamientos. Padre Nuestro, Ave María, Credo y los 10 mandamientos. Leer y escribir se consideraba que era para ellos tan peligroso como el diablo. You see that? Do you understand why it's important to know your history? Do you understand why it's important to understand who authorized the destruction of our heritage and who also was the one that would decide what to be printed and what not? Do you guys keep that in mind? Maybe I need to go back a little bit more history. Maybe I need to show something like this real quick. Let me see if I can go here. I'll show you something. There was a here, I know where to get it. There was a famous writer, was a famous writer, and he was there around that time, and he had a lot of our documents, but those documents were taken away from him, and some were given back. Then he was told 3 particular things: not to ever write about our heritage or anything related to Hebrewism. Here, I'll show you. Let me see, it's right here. Okay. This is from, I've shared it with you guys before. This is from the 10 tribes historically identified by Barbara Simmons. And for you brothers that know me, or at least talk to me, you know that I don't ever hide my sources. I always share that shit. If you guys just ask me, I'll give it to you. So we understand now what they were doing, right? Okay, so check this out. On page 7 of that book that I mentioned by Barbara Simmons, Sagahun further complains that he was forcefully deprived of a very valuable painting representing the Great Temple with the cord by which was surrounded, which he says was sent to Spain. It is very evident that everything in Mexico calculated to draw it. Pay attention to this. It is very evident that everything in Mexico calculated to draw attention to the ancient history of the country, more specifically, if connected with religious recollections, was carefully removed from notice immediately after the conquest. Okay, so religious recollections means like the dualage, meaning like the beginning of, Adam and Eve and all that stuff. So they had found these documents there. Why do you think these people want to claim that they are the so-called Mexicans and they bring up these fucking AI pictures? Give me a break. Because it's not because of the name, dumbasses. It's because it matters. But you can't recreate what you're not. Let's continue. Pieces of sculptures were mutilated and buried. That was by Zumarraga, by the way. Paintings were burned. Zumarraga again. Temples and edifices, which from their size, it was impossible to destroy or suffer to fall into oblivion. And magnificent monuments of ancient art, such as the temples of Palenque and the palace of Mitlan, were passed unnoticed by Spanish authors. Then he says, then to Sagahun, when engaged in the compilation of his history after it had been taken away from him and again restored. Okay, so they took a lot of this, they took almost everything, and they gave back what they wanted. Received 3 cautions. First, to write nothing to prove that the Hebrews had colonized the New World. Sit there on that for a moment. Just for a moment. Just take a seat. Just sit back a bit. And just read that again. Sagahun, okay, was given 3 cautions. The first one, first, to write nothing to prove that the Hebrews had colonized the New World. Do you understand what that means? Because we have people that claim to be who we are, and at the same time, they do tell you that you fuckfaces migrated from Asia through the Bering Strait. And a lot of you believe that shit. But then, for some reason, you totally forget the disconnect. Asia is not just Japan and fucking China, fam. It's also in the Middle East. Hello? They are literally telling you, but without even they knowing it, what they prefer, or the little smartasses that we know, Waboisms, they want to pin you with the Mongolians, right? Like we all look like Mongolians, so-called. You know what I'm saying? They want to claim Asia, but then, only this location, even though they can't prove nothing. Matter of fact, I can prove more relation with us and those in the Middle East than in Asia, for sure, without a doubt. I can go to the food. I can go to a lot of different things. A lot of different things, clothing and everything. I'm telling you, family, even the trees that we still eat. Even the food we still have in Mexico and shit. So once again, let's read this. I need you guys to really, really focus. Look, first, to write nothing to prove that the Hebrews had colonized the New World. Second, to be guarded in what he said of the devil having imitated. Oh, shit, my bad. Having imitated. Is it the same page? Oh, my bad. What the hell did I do? Maybe I didn't do the same to the other page. Give me a second. Having imitated. Yeah, maybe I didn't send it. My bad. Having imitated. Apparently, the devil picked a group of people that he wanted to call Hebrews. Oh, my God. Didn't I just take a picture of that one? Hold on, family. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Oh, I took a picture of the other book. It's 8. Tripping, dude. Okay. All right. Here it goes right here. There it goes right here. So let's go back on the bottom real quick. It says here, secondly, to be guarded in what he said of the devil having imitated God, okay, in taking to himself a chosen people in the New World and counterfeiting the rites and ceremonies of the Jews. You want to know something, family? This book is all about discipline. It's all about discipline. And if you see the history and you see the way that it changes your mindset towards your own self and your gente around you, you start understanding the flaws of our people and why, historically speaking, then maybe, just maybe, you will soften up towards them instead of these other fucking nations that will only absorb but hardly be reciprocal, meaning they won't really give back as much as you think. Raza has a way of taking their shirt off for the brother. That's how we are, indigenous people, when I say Raza. In taking to himself a chosen people in the New World, counterfeiting the rites and ceremonies of the Jews. And thirdly, not to advocate the hypothesis that Christianity had ever been proclaimed to the Indians, meaning our gente, or to treat too largely on the history of Quetzalcoatl. Isn't that very interesting? So before I lose y'all, I know I took you somewhere, but let me remind you why I said that. She said she's going to start showing people our history through books, which I think is fucking great.
Por eso es muy importante la lectura. Por eso es muy importante la historia. Yo ya no les voy a hablar de las leyes injustas de migración aquí en los Estados Unidos. No lo he hecho por algún tiempo. Y estoy tratando de regresar otra vez a lo que es mi contenido, la historia. Desde hoy en adelante les voy a subir libros, les voy a subir capítulos, les voy a subir historias para que aprendan. Utilícenlo de la manera que ustedes lo quieran utilizar y aplíquenlo de la manera que lo quieran aplicar. Espero que aprendiendo la historia nos podamos proteger en un futuro cercano, en donde otra vez las personas que se miran como tú y como yo vamos a ser atacadas, usurpadas por los pobres afrodescendientes y los blancos pobres. Porque otra vez la historia nos está poniendo en una posición de que somos en donde otra vez las personas que se miran como tú y como yo vamos a ser atacadas, usurpadas por los...
To who she says who's gonna be against us, okay? Listen to this.
Los pobres afrodescendientes y los blancos pobres. Porque otra vez la historia nos está poniendo en una posición de que somos el target del odio, del racismo, de la desesperación. Y no podemos permitir que nuestros hijos hereden esa historia otra vez. Bueno, que tengan buen día. Quédate conmigo mientras de que te explico un fenómeno que está pasando ahorita en los Estados Unidos.
Check this out. I think I showed this to y'all, but it's important to see it. Here we go. I don't think it has sound on it. Oh, yeah, it does. I think it does. Hopefully it does. Let's go.
No han sentido miedo. Aquel que no ha visto una camioneta de migración. Una deportación. Una deportación.
I'm a father. I don't want to see that. As a Border Patrol agent, I didn't sign up for this.
Are you worried that this will get worse?
Of course. Of course I am.
I don't want to see that, but I gotta work. Fucking hypocrites. Fucking hypocrites. Pinches hipócritas. Ballenberg. En serio. Check this out. Immigrants forced to eat like a dog in detention centers. You hear that shit? I don't think I want to play all that. Let's see for a minute. Actually, let me read it first. We've been watching video too much. Forced to eat the day's only meal like a dog, quote unquote, with their hands shackled behind their backs. Whoa. Let me read that again. Forced to eat the day's only meal like a dog, with their hands shackled behind their backs. Detained for days, with nothing but shoes for a pillow and no other bedding, just cold concrete floors and constant fluorescent lights. Medical care that denied a man with diabetes insulin for a week and may have contributed to at least one death. I hope you think it's funny. I hope you think it's funny. I really want you to think this is funny. It just comes to show the kind of wicked spirit you have. Attitude reflects leadership. And the way you think and the things that you say are very easy to discern, especially when you got spirits on you. A Human Rights Watch report says 3 Miami immigrant detention facilities have subjected people to the conditions so inhumane they have become at times life-threatening. Many ICE detention facilities are becoming overcrowded and conditions are deteriorating, according to the report in July 21st, 4 days ago. Well, you guys are enjoying yourselves watching Netflix and shit. You know what I mean? This is what's happening. And I'm not saying, always have this demoralizing spirit. No, hell no, man. This is why you start changing your ways. You need to prepare your family also. Right. It's going to get worse. I hope not, honestly. I'm not trying to speed up the fucking process of you know what I'm saying? Nobody's ready for that. Nobody. I don't care what people say. Nobody's ready for the end. Nobody. You guys can talk all that shit you want. Hell no. The way it's supposed to end, it's not going to be fun. Not tripping. Shit's heavy duty. The report, which drew the testimonial of 17 detainees, examined conditions since President Donald Trump took office in January. Investigator, says conditions at the Chrome North Processing Center, Federal Detention Center, and Broward Transitional Center flout international law on holding people in immigrant detentions and federal government standards. Basically, they're saying that because they have invasion. This is what they mean by international law. The condition for people held in detention facilities are not the way that any legitimate functioning government should treat people within its custody. That's what I mean by that. And I know what y'all did, but I wouldn't wish this upon people. You know what I'm saying? That's the Most High's work when it's time to get it done. Report's authors and editor Allison Lee Parker, Deputy Director of the Human Rights Watch U.S. program, said, while the facilities have had issues predating this administration, Parker said Trump administration officials have been unwilling to uphold standards to properly treat immigrant detainees. The conditions indicate the system is overwhelmed, overcrowded, and chaotic. Tricia McLaughlin, Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs at the Department of Homeland Security, said claim of subprime conditions at immigration and custom enforcement detention centers are false. Subprime, it's kind of like, remember the days of the mortgages where, you're subprime meaning you're a fucking 580 FICO score borrower compared to prime, meaning like you're A paper, you got a 750 FICO. You see how claims of subprimes, the way they hide, or they trigger the mind with certain powerful words. Subprime condition makes people that really don't understand what they're listening to pause by that. It means something to them, but they don't really know what that means. This is why they say comments like this, and it just kind of goes over people's heads. She says subprime conditions at immigration and custom enforcement detention centers are false. Claims of subprime, meaning instead of her saying claims of, what would I say? Let me go back. Claims of, where's the word I'm looking for? Claims of, let's see, what did they say? The conditions, deteriorating conditions, okay? I'm looking for that word. So instead of them saying deteriorating conditions, instead they say a fancy, admittive word, right? Like they're not admitting to it. The claims of subprime conditions at immigration and custom enforcement centers are false. You see how that sounds? All detainees are provided with proper meals, medical treatment, and have opportunities to communicate with their family members and lawyers. And that's total bullshit. People know that. And you're a demon. And I hope the Most High punishes you for everything you've done. And I hope he hurries up and does it. Seriously. Like fall on your face or some shit. Said in an emailed statement, ensuring the safety, security, and well-being of individuals in our custody is a top priority at ICE. Bullshit. You want to hurt our people. That's very clear. ICE has higher detention standards than most U.S. prisons that hold actual U.S. citizens. Don't we know about Alligator Alcatraz? That does not sound up to par. You see what I mean? Check this out. This gets even more interesting.
What you want done with them?
When time comes, God will send them back to their homeland, Africa. I have nothing against them.
Why will God send them to Africa?
Because all the races will go back to their homeland.
Well, where do whites go? This used to belong to...
Whites stay here, New Jerusalem. America.
Excuse me, whites stay in New Jersey?
New Jerusalem. The United States, New Jerusalem.
Okay, but the Native Americans, which we used to call Indians, they were here first. We have to get out.
No.
So when are you leaving?
Pay attention to what this kid says further to the end, okay? I'm telling you, family.
Okay, I'll listen.
In the Bible, it says in Genesis 2, in the chapter of 2, in Genesis, it says that be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue it. Subdue it is to rule over, and he was talking to us Israelites, the Adamites.
Hear what he said? Us Israelites.
Oh, that's like it.
A ver, que alguien me explique. Who are you? ¡Quítese a la verga!
Fuck that puto.
And he's not a kid, by the way. He's an old ass man right now. That's why I have the right to say that. Fuck that puto for that stupid shit. But let's continue.
From Adam.
What
He was
is that?
talking to Adam.
Okay, well,
We're from Adam.
what has that? Wait a sec. What has that got to do with the fact that if we're returning to where we're from, I gotta tell you that if you go back far enough in your family, you're not from the United States of America. Okay, you're probably.
I don't care, but white Christian America.
You said everybody's got to go back.
It's a promised land. God gave it to us.
Okay, so, God gave it.
You see what I'm saying? That's why that video that I shared with you about the sister, it's like, what the flying saucers? All right, so now let's get into this real quick. Occupied America. We're going to go to page 6, and then we're going to go in between other things. Now, remember, keep in mind, this is the actual map back in the day, before 1848. And keep in mind that in 1776, there was only 13 colonies. Only until close to the 1800s did they take over areas like Florida and stuff like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? But this is prior to 1848. So all you Native Americans that want to call yourself something else and shit, and you're like still here, fuck faces. Y'all are Mexicans. You guys are fucking Mexicans.
It's gonna hurt.
Stop trying to be like, oh, I'm not those Hispanics. I'm not those Mex. Look at you, dumbasses. You let the gringo tell you who you are. Even in your own stupidity, you fall for the shit. Even in their easy fucking way to put you in a dumb position, you still fall for it. You see this here? All of this right here. So like that RSK, remember that RSK guy? He's like from here and shit. I'm like, you're Mexican, fool. I'm Native American. I'm sure he believes in the 12 tribe chart, so he called himself Gad. I'm like, you're not Gad, dude. You're, if you believe in that shit, you're Issachar, puto. This is too funny, man. Anyhow, let's continue, man, before I start offending people. All right, we're going to go to page 6. Check this out. Page 6. This is the page. Okay, let's go. Hold on. How can I make? There we go. We take you to this little history here. Background to the invasion of Texas. Anglo justifications for the conquest have ignored and distorted events that led up to the initial clash in 1836. The Texas War was caused by a tyrannical, or at best, an incompetent Mexican government that was antithetical to the ideas of democracy and justice. So basically, the leadership, which wasn't our gente, they were fooled. But again, it's also biblical. This was meant to happen. The roots of the conflict actually extended back to as early as 1767, when Benjamin Franklin marked Mexico and Cuba for future expansion. You see this shit? You see this? These fuckfaces were already thinking that way before. Marked Mexico and Cuba for future expansion. Anglo illegals, filibusters plan expansions into Texas in 1790s. You see that? Louisiana Purchase in 1803 stimulated U.S. ambition in the Southwest. By that time, they already had Florida and the rest of the other states. France believed they sold them the rest. Yeah, there you go, Louisiana Purchase. It's right there. Hello. The Louisiana Purchase in 1803 stimulated U.S. ambition in the Southwest, and 6 years later, Thomas Jefferson predicted that the Spanish borderlands are ours. The first moment war is forced upon us. So again, you see that? The first moment war is forced upon. It was never forced. Like they did a coup d'etat type of shit. They created a war, and then all of a sudden, now they had to attack. That's how you guys work. We already know your history. This is why it's important to know history and teach your family the real history, because they're going to tell you something else. And their shit is bullshit. But you know what I mean? What can you do? Let them rest in their stupidity. Florida set the pattern of expansionist activities in Texas. In 1818, several posts in East Florida were seized and unauthorized. You see that? Several posts in East Florida were seized and unauthorized, but never officially condemned U.S. military expedition. So that's when they started taking the land from the Spaniards, because they were the ones in leadership. And you know what I mean? Fucking stupid. You know, plus they don't care. They can go back to their fucking homeland. What do they care? There was only a few that were in leadership compared to the rest of indigenous people. Why do you think they're... Okay, I'll give you an example. You know, the whole history about Pancho Villa was because he was fighting for a gente, for the way that we were being treated. By the time that he was done with this whole thing, okay, there were several schools being built because he fought for that. He fought for education for our people, which is why we became literate. After like 1915 and 20, you started seeing an increase of literacy. And you guys need to know this history. It's literally in your face. You just choose not to like learn about that shit. You want to get entertained with like cholo shit and some fucking Netflix, or because so-so said this and so-so said that. One's criticizing with the other one because he ain't, I guess, Mexica, and the other one's over here have something else. Like, what the fuck? Both of you are in error. One follows Trump, the other one, oh my God, y'all are silly, man. Go ahead, listen to stupidity. Negotiations then in progress with Spain finally terminated in the Adams-Onis or Transcontinental Treaty in 1819, in which Spain ceded Florida to the United States, and the United States, in turn, renounced its claim to Texas. You see this? The U.S. renounced its claim to Texas because they were getting ready to go to war. Remember that. They were playing chess with these Spaniards. The leaders in this country wasn't us people. Were playing checkers. Texas itself was part of Coahuila. Then again, if you watch the actual show, the video, whatever, the session about 1848, Freemasonry had all to do with a lot of this shit. But, you know, that's another deeper topic. Many North Americans still claim that Texas belonged to the U.S., repeating Jefferson's claim that Texas boundaries extended to the Rio Grande and that it was part of the Louisiana Purchase. They condemned the Adams-Onis Treaty. You see that? They don't even agree with themselves. The Anglo-aliens, the AAs, and you guys are really in AA. The AAs continued pretensions to Texas and made forays in Texas similar to those that had made in Florida. In 1819, James Long led in abortive invention to establish the Republic of Texas. You see this? So remember the sister was sharing some stuff regarding the people that have been working together since the 1600s, since the 7th. Come on, family, start waking up. It wasn't just white folks. It was white and black folks, okay? Those are the facts. And Long, like many Anglos, believed that Texas belonged to the United States and that Congress had no right or power to sell, exchange, or relinquish an American possession. You see this? In spite of hostility, the Mexican government opened Texas, provided that settlers agreed to certain conditions. Como pendejos, güey. Please, somebody explain this stupidity to me. Somebody explain this to me. Somebody explain this to me. Look, I show you. Let me show you something. Hold on, I gotta be funny right now.
They keep outperforming me. It drives me crazy, but I hope they never stop.
I want to show you something. This is interesting. Watch this. People talked about this interview. I watched it. Some jump on it right away. You know what I mean?
Well, I want to say
the premise of wait. Sometimes we got to take our time. We got to take our time with things. Nothing moves as fast as you think it does. Everything moves according to the way it's been written. No rush. But when we get to it, we make sure that we understand it. Once more, okay?
That's right.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
¡Viva México, cabrones!
Listen to this guy.
Donald Trump being pro-crime.
No. I want to concern myself with why you care about what's happening in the U.S., first and foremost. Secondly, I want to say this. With the argument,
should people who live in the U.S. not care about?
Let's not interrupt each other. Because I have this thing, people know I have this thing. I have to stay calm, okay? So here's the thing. I am happy.
Hold on, fam. I don't want to pause it too much, but I just want to point this out.
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Mehdi.
What is it?
Mehdi.
You're from northern UK, I guess?
I'm from London, North London.
Okay, fair enough.
First of all, you fucking dumbass. What's your name? What do you mean? What, did you just like randomly walk into that fucking room by yourself and shit? Nobody told you why you were there for, and you ended up having a seat in the middle of a lot of people? This is the point. Look what he does. He points to the name.
What's your ethnic background, if you don't mind asking?
And he points to race.
Parents are from India.
Okay, perfect. Just getting premise here. First of all, I want to say
the premise of Donald Trump being pro-crime.
No. I want to concern myself with why you care about what's happening in the U.S. first and foremost.
Say, you're not from here. Condescending as fuck. And gente, you need to start waking up to when people talk to you a certain way. Don't ever let it happen to you. Respectfully speaking, you better make sure you say something.
Foremost. Secondly, I want to say this. With the argument,
should people who live in the U.S. not care about?
Let's not interrupt each other. Because I have this thing, people know I have this thing.
Then all of a sudden he thinks he's going to intimidate him because I have this thing, like, I might hurt you, and you know what I'm saying? I may eat you, I may take your heart out and start chewing it in front of you. Like really, what are you, fucking Jeffrey Dahmer?
I have to stay calm, okay? So here's the thing. I am happy that he released J6. In fact, so much so that I was prepared to protest if he didn't. So when you say, are you okay that he's pro-crime? Sure, because you know what? We're changing the definition of what crime is, first and foremost.
You don't think stomping on police officers' heads is a crime?
I don't think it's no longer a relevant conversation anymore. You're
Really?
arguing. No, it's not, because you know what? Okay, have you seen the U.S. in the last 4 or 5 years?
Yes, I've
BLM protests.
lived here for a
Have you
while.
seen? Okay, myself have been involved in these protests. I've seen egregious things that you couldn't even imagine.
So we
being
have no
done to
rules then?
conservatives. It's not about that. It's
not
about
about-
tribal warfare.
Okay.
That's where we're at in the U.S. I don't know where you're at in the U.K. You're from India, so I don't really.
I'm not from India.
Oh, sorry, your parents are from India, so
I'm an American
you have
citizen.
your own states.
I'm an American, you know.
You're an American citizen? Okay,
Yes.
fair enough. I don't know how
Yes.
you got that, but fair enough. Here's the thing.
Are you an American?
See that? So he's an American citizen.
Absolutely. But here's
the title that this country gives you when
Not sure how you got that. Okay.
you're from here and shit. But he's like, oh, are you an American citizen? Watch what this crackhead egg white says.
I don't know how you got that, but fair enough. Here's the thing.
Are you an American citizen?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But here's the
Not
thing.
sure how you got that. Okay.
Born here.
Okay.
Born here, and my family lineage is settlers from the 1500s, so I have some stake in the claim here, okay?
But you're
a little different
But you're
than
a
yours.
descendant of immigrants, settlers,
I didn't know.
colonialists.
Yeah,
You don't
colonials.
look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites
not.
are Native Americans. What are you
Sorry.
talking
You see that? Whites are Native Americans. What are you talking about? But hold on, that's not even the point. This is the point.
Yeah,
You don't
colonials.
look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites
not.
are Native Americans. What are you
Sorry,
talking about?
you're not.
What are you talking about?
You're not.
Whites are Native Americans.
Really?
I think
What was
you're-
happening before the 1500s?
You hear this shit? Yeah, you see all these crackers clapping their hands and shit. Like they clap their cheeks. Y'all are crazy, man. Look at this guy. This is
I
not.
think you're getting confused with it.
I don't mind going on a tangent, but what was happening before the 1500s?
Calm down. I think you're getting.
What was happening before the 1500s?
There was indigenous people here that came here from
Do you know what
Asia.
indigenous means?
Listen, before
Indigenous
America,
people
let
can't
me
come from somewhere
finish.
else.
Why do you ask a question if you're going to interrupt?
I'm not sure if you know what the meaning of indigenous means.
I do know what it means. It means
sound
they
like
came here first, right? They came here from Asia by way of land bridge.
You see that? You see that, family? They came from Asia by way of land bridge. What do you think he means by that? More likely, just the same way Wabos believe this shit, is that you're stupid, and you just happen to migrate. Remember, we read some books that took away our history. So this stupid ass, yeah, you're right, AA friend has no idea about our history. But you see, this is how they think. And if you don't know your history, then you will believe their conviction, because he really believes this shit until you check his ass. Then he starts like disconnecting. And there's ways to do this. You don't gotta hurt nobody, family. You just gotta know your history.
An argument with Neil deGrasse Tyson or anybody else about that. I don't care.
Is he an American?
I genuinely don't care. Yes, he is.
Okay, just checking.
My point is, okay?
Nothing to do with crime. So far, you've agreed with me that these
Because
people are
you're derailing, dude. I'm trying to stay on
You literally
track.
sat down and asked me where I'm from. I think you derailed this conversation from the get-go.
By that, but I'm
not offended. I'm just wondering what it has to do with crime.
I'm always curious.
We're going to talk about immigration. Don't worry. Later on, you can come back.
I hope so.
Right now, you're doing a very bad job of making the case that he's not pro-crime.
I just got a round of applause. I could probably get another one actually if I asked for it.
Wow.
So I don't think I'm doing
Is this how
as
you
bad.
get rounds of applause? You sit in a room with 20 people who agree with you. Wow, amazing. Amazing. That must make you feel good.
You know what? I'm
20
actually
people
glad
agree
you're
with
getting
you,
this
applauded you.
emotionally outraged right
Wow.
now. This is great.
I love it.
Do I have to say anything at this point, or are you just going to keep going?
No, please.
Okay.
Make your claim.
Well, my claim is that I don't care if it's pro-crime. You want to go back to the topic of conversation?
That's fine. We agree then. He's pro-crime.
But I have a
care.
question for you, though. Do you care on the opposite side of the spectrum?
Yes.
Do you care about law being administered to the opposite side of the spectrum?
I think anyone who assaults a police officer shouldn't be pardoned. I think that Donald Trump shouldn't have pardoned 9 Republican members of Congress who were convicted of crimes, and I don't think Joe Biden should commit. I don't think Democrats should pardon Democrats.
Fair, but I don't.
Hi, my name is Mark Chaikin. If you
I think you understand where we are in the U.S. then.
I think I do.
No, because you're arguing from a position of like a U.S. that doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
We're headed towards
nihilism. No laws, nothing matters.
It's not about
everyone's pro-crime.
It's not about that. It's that conservatives for too long have been playing it safe. They've been playing by the law. They've been playing by the law. Yes, they have.
Maybe you missed the Bush presidency. Did you live here during the Bush years?
Conservatives are
didn't
so
play by
concerned.
the law, George W. Bush, nor did Ronald Reagan.
Hey, you have a point, Guaracuya. That Neanderthal seems like he has no debate background at all. They are also highly emotional and passive aggressive. That passive aggressive right there. That was my point. He comes in, hey, what's your name? Shakes his hand. Mehdi, okay. Trying to, a lot of these people, and I know this for a fact, they regurgitate. They regurgitate and reflect. So his way of arguing is more likely from his mom or his dad. You know what I'm saying? This is what they do. This is how they argue in his household. This is how more likely the dad, he handled everybody in the house. He talked that way, even though he is fucking wrong. He just wants to hurry up and go, I don't know, maybe. Let's go.
Let's be respectful to you. Let me finish.
I'm not sure you've been that respectful, but okay.
I'm trying to bring it back, so let's both bring it back, okay? I'm conservative, okay?
Really?
Let me tell you this. We do play it too safe. We've been playing it by the book for too long. Okay. At this point, gloves are off, right? The left has made their point. They're willing to do...
Are the police force in Washington the left?
Yes! Are you kidding me? The left? Are you insane?
Police officers.
Look at LA right here. You think those stand down?
You think the LAPD are a bunch of liberal Marxists?
No, but I think they listen to liberal Marxists who tell them what to do.
Okay.
I think they listen to who...
Family, in case you guys forgot, this is the point. Possessive investment in whiteness. Hello? What the fuck are you guys listening to? This is the point of the class. Like, hello? What were you waiting for?
Their paychecks at the
Can
end
I
of the
just
day
check, because you're doing lots of little diversions. We both agree Donald Trump's pro-crime. You're just fine with it.
No,
Is that the position?
I don't.
That's what you've said so far for about 5 minutes.
I don't agree with your definition.
What's your definition of crime?
It doesn't
Stomping
matter.
on a police officer's head is not a crime. That's your definition of crime as the Native American.
I am Native American.
Telling you right there. Look at this shit. Oh my God. Dog. Like, hold on.
Fuck that puto.
Fuck him, dog. Fuck you.
Puto.
Fuck you. Fuck you. You 100% you. This spits on everything that our people have gone through in this land that we belong to. The nerve of you. But hold on, one more. Oh, and by the way,
¡Viva México, cabrones!
get your Crimea ass out of here.
If you say so.
So, going back to the topic at hand, we have different definitions of crime because you're talking
convenient.
about...
There's a criminal code in this country. It's called a U.S. criminal code.
You know what? Let's focus on what we agree on. I'm sure you and I actually agree on a lot
Do we
more
agree
than you
that
realize.
people shouldn't stomp on police officers' heads? Can we agree on that? If you don't agree on that, then I really think this conversation is kind of
No,
pointless.
because first of all, you're saying what? That the police have the authority, that they're given the authority? I don't accept the authority that's been given by liberal
conservative position. I'm a conservative or pro-police.
Then you don't know what a real... Hey, listen,
So
you're
we
in a room
redefine
with
crime.
juggernauts right now,
We
okay?
redefine
I'm telling you...
You hear what he said? Listen, you're in a room with juggernauts.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
He said juggernauts. That's funny. ¿Qué huele, Julio? ¿Qué huele? By the way, this is the man right here that did the drawing that you see right there. This right here, the brother hooked me up with that drawing, that shit right there. So, you know what I'm saying? If anybody wants to say, I guess, thank you on my behalf, y'all can go ahead and say it. You know, I got to give props to whoever it belongs to, man. What up, VTC?
Wait a minute. Who are you?
All right, so check it. In case you don't know, and I forgot, possessive investment in whiteness. Let's go.
Right now, you are going to be blown open if you think that my
if we're going to
position
struggle
is
with the
hard,
English
right?
language
You
for the
have
next
no
couple
idea
hours, then
what
yeah,
you're
we'll
up against right now, okay?
100%.
Yeah. Newsflash, the conservatives are liberal to me, okay? Neocons, libertarians, all those mainstream people, they might as well be leftists to me, okay? That's how far to the right I am. Do you understand my position?
He's a fascist. That's what he's basically admitting. No. You know, the right ain't right enough for me, man. I'm like extreme, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, I told you when I first started that, you know, I'm one of those that needs to be like calmado because, you know, I can, you know. You guys are funny, man. Oh, dude, medication, please. Some fucking shit. Hold on, yeah. I'll give you that. I fucking love that button. Let's continue. He's almost done. I'm going to show you one more and that's it, and then we move on.
Kind of guessed it when you sat down.
say, you know, about obeying police, why would I give the authority to police? Do you know you're in America?
Do you think Donald Trump should be pardoning 9 members of Congress who committed financial crimes?
Let me see if I can remember his name.
To another point, all right? Let's not forget the topic. Let's go back. Page 8 to page 7. Sorry, 6 and 7. So we stopped here. Remember, we're talking about like the takeover, okay? Now let's go here. Same book, Occupied America, 3rd edition. In December 1821, Stephen Austin founded the settlement of San Felipe de Austin. Large number of Anglo-aliens entered Texas in the 1820s as refugees, illegal aliens, like for real, the original illegal aliens as refugees. Our people are trying to do that now. And what do they say? Nah, we don't want that law. You selfish piece of shit. From the Depression of 1819, in the 1830s, entrepreneurs sought to profit from the availability of cheap land. By 1830, there were about 20,000 colonists or illegal aliens once more, along with the 2,000 slaves. Don't assume they were all a certain color, by the way. Settlers agreed to obey the conditions set by Mexican government. Settlers, by the way. Remember, keep in mind that les hicimos un paro, güey. You get what I mean? But hey, never forget that all immigrants be Catholics. So this is what they wanted. So Mexico, the government at that time, run by Spaniards, the settlers agreed to obey the conditions set by the Spaniard government, because that's really what it was, that all immigrants be Catholics and that they take an oath of the allegiance to Mexico. Right? However, the Anglo illegal aliens became resentful when Mexico tried to enforce the agreement. So the Anglo illegal aliens, they're like, nah, wait a minute, we don't like that. Hold on a second. You're kind of in here because I did your fucking paro, fool. Mexico, in turn, became increasingly alarmed at the flood of immigrants, illegal aliens, from the U.S. Hold on a second. I'm gonna give it. Many illegal invaders consider the native Mexicas to be the intruders. Oh, my dear Jesus. You see this? You see how it's playing itself out all over again and shit? See what I mean? See what I'm saying? In dispute with Mexicas, Mexicans, and Indians, I'll leave it like that, as well as with Anglo-aliens, colonists, or illegals, Hayden Edwards arbitrarily attempted to evict settlers from the land before the conflict claims could be resorted out by the Mexican authorities. As a result, Mexican authorities nullified his settlement contract and ordered him to leave the territory. Edward and his followers seized the town of Nacogdoches and on December 21, 1826, proclaimed the Republic of Fredonia. Mexican officials, supported by some Anglo-illegal aliens, such as Stephen Austin, suffocated the Edward revolt. However, many U.S. newspapers played up a rebellion in 200 men against a nation and described Edwards and his followers as apostles of democracy crushed by an alien invasion. You see this shit? Like, to fucking nerve. Keep in mind that this is not just white folks. This is black and white folks working together, okay? Don't forget this shit, because like a lot of you guys like literally forget this stuff. In 1824, President John Quincy Adams began putting pressure on Mexico in hope of persuading her to rectify the frontier. Any of the Texan rivers west of the Sabine, the Brazos, the Colorado, the Nueces, was preferable to the Sabians, though the Rio Grande was once desired. In 1826, Adams offered to buy Texas for the sum of $1 million. When Mexican authorities refused to offer the United States, when Mexican authorities refused the offer, the United States launched an aggressive foreign policy, attempting to coerce Mexico into selling Texas. So don't you think they would have coerced into going to war? Of course. Mexico could not consolidate its control over Texas. The number of Anglo illegal aliens and the vastness of the territory made it as almost impossible task. The same AAAs had already created a privileged caste. See? Privileged caste. What does this say to you? Deuteronomy 28:43. You tell me what it says to you. Okay, we just read something right now. Deuteronomy 28:43 says, foreigners who live in your land will gain more and more power, while you gradually lose yours. They will have money to lend you, and eventually, once they take your property, they're going to create banks. But you will have none to lend. In the end, they will be your rulers. So, who increased property and who lends money? We see a lot of history right in front of our face. Had already created a privileged caste which depended in great part on the economic advantage given to them by their slaves. So we weren't doing that. Unlike what people say and shit, like, you know, FBA, Native Americans, indigenous. Well, actually, they say Native Americans, right? With the concept of like the people in the North. But they don't realize that there's like history here. Like, what year are we talking about? Can you guys tell us what year? Like when, roughly? You know, don't just throw it out. 1500, 1600, 1700, 1800, 1900, which year? I'd like to know. When Mexico abolished slavery, oh shit, for real, way before these countries, way before the Anglo or the Afro wanted to let people go in slavery, out of slavery. It had been done here in September 15th, 1829. You see, a lot of you guys don't understand that, don't even know that. It's not in our spirit to be doing that shit. People can tell in this country there was no point of doing that. None of our gente wanted to do that, bro. What are you talking about? Let's continue. Euro-Americans circumvented the law by freeing their slaves and then signing them to lifelong contracts as indentured servants. You see this? Euro-Americans circumvented the law by freeing their slaves and then signing them to lifelong contracts as indentured servants, which we've read before that it was the opposite. But, you know, what are they going to say? Anglos resented the remember, this is a college book. So, you know, they're not going to allow certain things to be said. Anglos resented the Mexican order and considered it an infringement on their personal liberties. In 1830, Mexico prohibited further Anglo illegal immigration, illegal alien invasion. Meanwhile, Andrew Jackson increased tension by attempting to purchase Texas for as much as $5 million. It went from $1 million to $5 million now. Mexican authorities resented the Anglo illegal aliens' refusal to submit to Mexican law. Mexico moved reinforcements into Coahuila and readied them in case of trouble. Anglos viewed this move as an act of hostility. This is not your land. You see what I'm saying? You see how that's insanity. Seriously, I mean, what else do you call it? It's insanity. There's no reasoning. Let's be frank here. There's no reasoning in this. Hostility towards the people that allowed you to be in a land that you don't belong in originally. Anglo colonists refused to pay customs and actively supported smuggling activities. When the war party rioted at the Anahuac in December 1831, it had the popular support of Anglos. One of its leaders was Sam Houston, who was a known protege of Andrew Jackson, now president of the United States. Houston's motivation was to bring Texas into the U.S.
Who are you?
Let me show you something. Pay attention.
We need your help to save the message.
Oh, dear Jesus. What's wrong with this guy? All right, so pay attention to what this person says. Now different than the one before. It's kind of weird, though. You know what I'm saying? Again, foreigners who live in your land will gain more and more power, while you gradually lose yours, meaning land. They will have money to lend to you once they take over because remember, keep in mind, Texas, all of that land, there was so much cattle, like free range cattle, meaning nobody owned these things. Horses, cows, all that shit. Nobody owned them, really. It was massive amounts. Buffalo, keep in mind, all of this was going on. And then also, there's gold in Cali, oil in Texas. I mean, even in this chapter, it tells you that happens too. Let's continue.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, nice to meet you,
Mehdi.
Daniela. So, in regards to your claim, I just want to start by asking this: do you care more about helping Americans or immigrants in this claim?
Immigrants are Americans. I'm an immigrant, an American.
Well, immigrants are not Americans. Americans are the people that were born here.
The clarity you deserve and news you can trust. Go to san.com/surrounded or click the link in the description to check it out. By clicking that link, you're not just supporting this channel. You also take
image paused on me, so I didn't know if it was going to pause on you. Okay, hold on. Let me play it here.
Immigrants overall are good for America. Hi, how are you?
Hello, nice to meet you,
Mehdi.
Daniela. So, in regards to your claim, I just want to start by asking this: do you care more about helping Americans or immigrants in this claim?
Immigrants are Americans. I'm an immigrant and an American.
Well, immigrants are not Americans. Americans are the people that were born here.
That's not true. Where'd you get? What's the basis of your claim?
Remember that she said that. Okay? Remember that she said that.
Well, immigrants are
Listen to this.
more about helping Americans or immigrants in this claim.
Immigrants are Americans. I'm an immigrant and an American.
Well, immigrants are not Americans. Americans are the people that were born here.
Immigrants are not Americans. Americans are the people that are born here, okay? Keep that in mind.
That's not true. Where'd you get? What's the basis of your claim for that?
Are you talking about people that get naturalized in the process of becoming American?
14th Amendment. Have you read it?
Okay, yes, I have.
Citizenship clause. It says any persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States.
I'm aware of that.
There's about 40 to 50 million naturalized Americans in this country.
Yes, but
you didn't seem aware of it because you said Americans versus immigrants.
So, but are you understanding that the process of getting all these immigrants that come in here we've been also the millions of immigrants, it's up to the millions, it's the last 20 years now, and it has dramatically affected Americans here in the country, which
positively, I would argue.
People like me and everyone around here, we cannot find homes or even get jobs within our own fields that we go to college for, that we get into debt for. And because more blue-collar work, especially in construction, agriculture, and so forth, and the hospitality industry, we cannot get jobs in those fields. So it requires
Are you looking for a job in construction?
I am not. No, I went to college.
Okay.
Many people here are in college or went to college, but we can't even find jobs in our fields. Also because of the H-1B visa program as well. But in regards to just your claim about immigrants specifically, we cannot even get jobs to pay for housing.
Unemployment is at a record low right now, even under Donald Trump. And I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but I would say unemployment under both Biden and Trump has been at record low levels.
Okay, is this in regards for American citizens?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm unaware of that statistic, but from what I see, from what I can
I'm an immigrant.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm glad you said that, Sis, because that's what I think. Like, you talk about North America, South America, Central America. You know what I mean? But that's not even the point. That's not even the point. Wait till because remember, initially she said immigrants or born people here. Remember what she said, that there's a difference between those people. Okay.
An American, and I employ many American citizens, both naturalized and the ones born here. I employ Americans.
My parents came
Americans as defined by you.
My parents came as immigrants to become naturalized, so I'm not necessarily opposed to immigrants.
That her parents came as immigrants.
Bruh. Wait a minute. Who are you?
A ver, que alguien me explique.
Pregúntame, cabrón, pregúntame. I mean, it's like, bro, for real, man? Are you fucking serious? Hold on. You just, okay, all right, okay, all right, let's go.
Immigrants.
So you're the child of immigrants?
Correct. I'm a child of immigrants. I was born
But you don't
here.
accept that immigrants are Americans?
Not at this moment.
So your parents are not Americans?
Not at this moment.
So hold
no,
on, your parents are
they're
not Americans?
citizens. They became naturalized.
You just said you can't be citizens by being naturalized.
No, I was born here, and I'm not
Yeah,
opposed
you're born
to
here,
naturalization.
right?
I never said that I'm against naturalization.
Are you against naturalization?
No, I never said I was against
you
naturalization.
did. You began. Everyone was here. They can play it back on YouTube. You said Americans or immigrants. Are your parents Americans or immigrants?
No, my parents are United States citizens.
But they're immigrants, you said.
No, they came here as immigrants. However, but
so they
I want
are
to make
immigrants.
the claim that we cannot
I came here as an immigrant. I'm an immigrant.
But at this point, when they came, the
people
United States
aren't happy
economy,
with the way this is going for you.
The United States economy was not at.
It's better now. The American economy is better than it's been for many years.
Not from the
and I can say that as
see.
someone who doesn't like Donald Trump.
We're
Which
giving
statistics are you
millions
seeing?
and billions of dollars to people of minorities as well as
the reason the economy is doing badly now is because Donald Trump's tariff policy. Nothing to do with migrants. In fact, the congressional.
They can't even start businesses.
So they're gonna get into like some other little politics stuff, right? I'm gonna show you one more and that's it, because I forgot about this stupid ass. Shit, she probably was an anchor baby.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Anchor baby, anchor baby, anchor baby. You know what that means, right, fam? They get pregnant somewhere else and they supposedly have the baby in the particular land where there's imaginary laws. I mean, imaginary lines and shit. Because you know what I mean, like. You have to really think about how long we've been going through this shit. Since 1492, we've been experiencing this. With all the obstacles that they've been putting in front of us since those times, we are here today.
Bruh.
Nah, that deserves this right here.
¡Viva México, cabrones!
It wasn't too long ago that when people spoke this way as obviously the way we were programmed, we would just sit back and listen. Like, oh, they're probably right. You know what I'm saying? But time has gotten us to this point to where it's prepared us to understand this type of talk now. And it should not overwhelm you, nor should it surprise you. Yeah, she's lost in fucking space, bro. Straight up. But hold on, it's not even over. There are people on drugs that make more sense than these than these Neanderthals.
That's right.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Let's continue. The next one is even... Matter of fact, I think the next one's shorter because he just exploded and shit. Yeah, it's really short. And then that's it. And then we move on.
Majority, please return to your seat.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Wix gives you the power.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Eddie.
What's going on, man? Nice to meet you. All right, so first before I start, I need to know what you mean by good. I can talk about the economy, I can talk about culture, I can talk about all those things. I need to know what you mean.
All of them.
All of them.
I'm saying immigrants are good for the economy. They're good for
You think
culture.
lower wages are
they're
good for the economy?
society. Where's the lower wages?
What do you mean, where's the lower wages?
Clear something up. The topic is immigrants overall are good for America. That's his argument. He's saying no. All right, let's go.
The lower wages.
Yeah, so you can
What's
look
the
at
basis for saying no lower wages?
Sure, so you can look at like the STEM industry. It's been in like a complete and total recession. There's been tons of studies like from the Economic Policy Institute that shows that like companies like Tesla, companies from like Silicon Valley, they engaged in mass firing of workers, around 35,000, but then they hired around 12,000 H-1B visas. And it's kind of just standard economic thinking.
It's not standard economic thinking. The vast majority of economists and economic studies suggest that there is a negligible, if no impact on wages over time
That's not
from immigrants. In fact, your colleague mentioned earlier, construction, there is actually evidence in construction, yes. But in some industries, in some areas, there is an impact. But overall, no. In fact, a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that migrants since 1965 have raised wages and raised innovation.
Who's that by?
National Bureau for Economic Research.
No, hold on. That's where you publish studies. I'm asking
yes,
for
I didn't
author.
memorize the names of the authors.
Yeah, I know you didn't, right?
Can you give me the authors you've got?
Yeah, hold on. The study you're talking about is from Giovanni Perry.
He means by that, what this gentleman says, I didn't memorize so-and-so.
And what he did is he didn't account.
It's because, remember, I told you, when you start paying attention to how these people are, they just regurgitate shit. They're a reflection of what they read. There is no sincere spirit behind that. Hardly any critical thinking, to be honest with you. It is just read, memorized, and regurgitated. That's it. That's the functionality of this nation of people. This is it. It doesn't get any better than this. It's just very simple. Structured, but simple. Let's go.
No, you didn't.
Can you give me the authors you've got?
Yeah, hold on. The study you're talking about is from Giovanni Perry, and what he did is he didn't account for aggregation issues, nor did he...
The vast majority of studies...
Let me speak.
Please.
Yeah, thank you, right? So listen, he didn't account for aggregation.
This way,
you see
right
how,
now in the...
Whoa, I didn't mean to do that. You see how they right away clapped when he's like, let me speak. The guy's losing his breath, to be honest with you.
Republican politicians don't vote.
Hold on, a little bit more ahead. He's losing his fucking air as he's speaking. He's all hypertension and shit.
An immigrant.
Right? He's hypertension. Let me just let it play because I totally forgot what I was going to say.
I get the monologue, right? Now let me respond.
You had one. You had one with your one study that had a 0.5% impact. Go.
Yeah, and your study sucked that you didn't even know who wrote it, right? So let's get back to the point, right?
Because I don't need
and
to
there
know
it
one
goes
study.
again.
The majority of studies say that wages are not impacted by
migration. The majority of your
over
studies
time.
are flawed. That's what I'm telling you.
Not my studies.
Right.
Neither of us are economists. It's the economist studies.
Don't assume who I am.
Are you an economist?
I could be.
But
right?
are you?
I could be.
Are you?
I'm not going to tell you.
Are you?
I'm going to major in economics, right?
Are you an economist?
No, not right now.
Okay, so when I said neither is economist, I was correct.
Just don't assume.
To use your favorite word.
See here, dude, this is nothing of substance. You look at the red flags; they're coming up. Let me get to the point.
Great, but
so
you're
when
not
you talk
an
about
economist.
when you talk about the CBO, one thing you're not accounting for here is that they're assuming an equilibrium, right? Do you know what that means? You shouldn't make these type of assumptions. You said.
Look at their necks and shit. Like, look at that vein. Like, these guys are tweaking, dude. Tweaker.
Earlier that unemployment.
Do I know what it means? I thought we were not doing assumptions.
Okay, hold on. You mentioned we were at 4.2% unemployment. Yeah, that's counting people who have part-time jobs. That's counting poverty
wages.
wages.
Always been counted.
Yeah,
I'm against poverty wages. Can we agree again?
Yes. If you go to the Lookwood Institute, they calculated a way where it's functional unemployment. Okay. If you account for things like just people who make around $25,000 a year, people who have fallen out of the labor market, people who only work part-time, if you count all of those people together and then add on the unemployment, that's around 25% of the population. So when you go, we don't have jobs, we don't have people to do this, and that, and the other. No, yes, we do. Okay, we don't have a labor shortage. We have a good job shortage. And when you keep bringing these people in, and they're taking those jobs.
The good job shortage is the fault of big firms, employers. I'm an employer, I can say that.
Who hires the immigrants?
Who hires the immigrants?
Yeah.
Employers.
Exactly. So when you bring up these big firms,
okay, so
that's the way that keeps wages down. You understand that, right?
So let me ask you a question. If you got rid of all immigrants coming in tomorrow, moratorium, you think that Republicans and employers...
He's shaking, dude. The guy's shaking, bro. Damn. These
big firms.
I think a lot of times these people have demons, man, to be honest with you.
You understand that, right?
So let me ask you...
Look. Watch his hands. Watch his hands.
Question. If you got rid of all immigrants coming in tomorrow, moratorium, you think that Republicans and employers and big firms...
You see that? You see his hands? You're like fucking shaking and shit, dude. That's a problem. Let me slow it down so you can, maybe... We got technology now. Let's watch his fingers shaking.
You think that Republicans and employers of big firms...
You see that? Dude, he tried to hold on to it as best as he could. But, you can see the nervousness in people. Some people touch their face real fast or, hold their chin when it's a little unsure. And sometimes people don't do that. Not often, but, you can really pick up on people, man, if you just pay attention.
You think that Republicans and employers of big firms will suddenly raise all the wages?
That's what you believe. What I said.
That's what you believe.
It was complete.
That's what you believe.
You pivoted the hell away from the conversation.
Is that what you? I'm on the subject. Okay? Do you believe that wages? I'm just wondering how naive you are. You believe that the 1% will raise wages in the federal wage if we stop immigration?
They will be forced to. When you increase labor's relationship to capital, okay, and you give labor more bargaining power because you're tightening the supply of labor.
This is a very simplistic understanding of economics because
okay, explain I'm wrong.
I'm telling you how you're wrong. Because you're ignoring the fact that when immigrants come into an area, they spend money. They create jobs.
About 1/5 of their monthly income leaves the country.
That's a good thing also because you don't like USA foreign aid. So this is the point. They create jobs. I came into this country. So far, every one of my assumptions about you has been correct. But listen to me. I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like... I should get the hell out.
Yes.
Why?
I don't want you here.
Why?
Because you come here and say all this bullshit about how Americans are lazy.
Why?
You push your left-wing
politics.
politics.
I never said Americans are lazy.
I don't know why you say that.
See, family, all you got to do is just wait. All you got to do is just wait. Just a little bit.
So far, every one of my assumptions about you has been correct. But listen to me. I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like... I should get the hell out.
Yes.
Why?
I don't want you here.
Why?
Because you come here and say all this bullshit about how Americans are lazy.
Why?
You push your left-wing politics.
I never said Americans are lazy.
I don't know why you say this.
I never said Americans
yes,
are lazy.
You are.
You're
saying immigrants have to come into this country so they can do jobs that we don't want to do. That's exactly what you said.
When did I say it?
Oh, really?
When did I say it? We're on YouTube. Guys watching on YouTube, rewind to the time where I said immigrants are doing jobs we don't want to do. When did I say those words? Words that came out of my mouth.
Okay, so why do we have to bring in immigrants? Why do we have to bring in immigrants to the country if we have people who are going to do the jobs?
Yeah. Yeah. That's who they are. I think it makes sense. As a matter of fact, look, this is matter of fact, thank you, sis. Demons getting targeted. Yeah, I know what you mean by that. The expulsion. The true spirit always comes out. Yes, ma'am. You reminded me of this scripture. Isaiah 47:1 says, the Lord says, Babylon, come down from your throne and sit in the dust of the ground, getting exposed. You were once like a virgin, a city unconquered, but you are soft and delicate no longer. You are now a slave. With that mentality, remember the decimation, the curses? Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit in the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldean. Because remember, there's 4 beasts. The first one was Babylon. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Come down. You are now a slave. So when these curses occurred to us, there was also blessings for obedience. There were curses, of course, but there's also blessings for obedience, meaning that everything that happened to us is going to happen to them. But, you know, it takes work within you. Look, you don't think that I go through some crazy shit? Today, I was attacked by demons left and right, man. You know, thoughts of lust were like fucking attacking me crazy today. I could act on them, but I don't. Because, you know what I'm saying? I work on that stuff. So should you guys. Hey, what do you mean? ¿Qué pasó? What happened? Did I miss something? Oh. I know what happened. Yeah. Fuck. Okay. All right, I played it too long. Apparently, I played the that video too long, like on main screen. Well, okay. Well, you know what? Let's not forget. We're back. Hopefully, we're back. Okay, we're back. We're back. You guys are here. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Say hello. Yes, we can hear you. Please. Let me know.
That's gonna hurt.
I have concepts of a plan.
Fuck that puto. Fuck that puto.
Can you guys hear me or not? Hello, hello, hello. Are we back yet or not? What the fuck? What's going on and shit? I thought we were back, but I guess we're not back. Yeah, they did take me off. Are we good? Okay, here we go.
What do you want done with them?
When time comes, God will send them back to their homeland, Africa. I have nothing against them.
Why will God send them to Africa?
Because all the races will go back to their homeland.
Well, where do whites go? This used to belong to
Whites stay here, New Jerusalem, America.
Excuse me, whites stay in New Jersey?
New Jerusalem, the United States, New Jerusalem.
Okay, but the Native Americans, which we used to call Indians, they were here first. We have to get out. No. So when are you leaving?
I'm not leaving. Listen.
Okay, I'll listen.
In the Bible, it says in Genesis 2, in the chapter of 2, in Genesis, it says that be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue it. Subdue it is to rule over, and he was talking to us Israelites, the Adamites, from Adam.
What?
He was talking to Adam.
Okay, well, what has that? Wait a sec. What has that got to do with the fact that if we're returning to where we're from, I gotta tell you that if you go back far enough in your family, you're not from the United States of America. Okay, you're probably.
I don't care, but white Christian America.
You said everybody's got to go back.
It's a promised land. God gave it to us.
Okay, so, God gave it.
Let that sink in. These kids talking like that produce these fucking piece of shit.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
That produced this. Grandfathers, grandmothers, whatever. I don't care. It's all obvious, man. You can see it in its face. You can see it in its full value. We left off in page 7. Let me read you this right here. This is from, again, Occupied America, 3rd edition, the invasion of Texas. It says Barker parallels the Texas filibuster and the American Revolution, stating, in each, the general cause of revolt was the same, a sudden effort to extend imperial authority at the expense of local privilege. According to Baker, in both instances, the central governments attempted to enforce existing laws that conflicted with the illegal activity of some very articulate people. Baker further justified the Anglo illegal alien actions by observing, at the close of the summer in 1835, and the Texans saw themselves in danger of becoming the alien subjects of a people to whom they deliberately believed themselves morally, intellectually, and politically superior. You see that right there? You see that right there? So they don't, I just don't want to be on the bottom. I think it's this one. Which one's you can find it here. Yeah, here it goes right here. Lamentation. Here, I'll read it this way. Lamentations 5:2, it says, our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. Aliens. Inheritance turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. What they do not want to be. In danger of becoming the alien subjects, which is why they call you raza aliens consistently. The racial feeling indeed underlaid in colored Texan Mexican relations from the establishment of the first Anglo illegal alien colony in 1821. Let me show you something. Let me see if I can get it real quick.
AI, we want AI models based on accurate information that give accurate information and accurate answers. This executive order will ensure that when the federal government procures or promotes different AI models, that those AI models are ideologically neutral, that they don't embrace wokeism and critical race theory and all of these terrible theories that have done so much damage to our country.
All these critical race theories that have done so much damage to our country, what he means is that it has done so much damage to the crackers, the sons and daughters of Esau, the true illegal aliens. That's what he means. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, okay? They're talking about critical race theory, the Great Replacement theory explained. But critical race theory for themselves. You know what I'm saying? In mid-September 2021, the U.S. media turned its attention to the increasing number of Haitian immigrants seeking protection at the border in Del Rio, Texas. While most of the arriving migrants were either turned back into Mexico or deported to destitute conditions in Haiti, some Haitian families were allowed to stay in the U.S. and pursue asylum claims in the immigration courts. Okay? But here it says this. The Great Replacement theory, in simple terms, states that welcoming immigration policies, particularly those impacting non-white immigrants, meaning illegal aliens, Anglo illegal aliens, remember that term, Anglo illegal aliens, AAIA. Anglo illegal aliens, AAIA, okay? Particularly those impacting non-white immigrants, are part of a plot designed to undermine or replace political power and culture of white folks living in Western countries. Multiple iterations of the Great Replacement, quote unquote, theory has been and continues to be used by anti-immigrant groups, white supremacists, and others, meaning like MAGA. Rhetoric of invasion. The theory often used martial and violent rhetoric of migrant invasion, meaning like our gente is killing people. Voter replacement. The theory also sometimes incorporates the inaccurate assumption that non-white immigrants will vote a certain way, meaning like because you're brown, you're going to go Democrat. Well, they can't do that no more because a lot of brown people went fucking red. So they can't use that excuse. That's out the door. You use your last card, dumbass. Anti-Semitism. It's instill other I'm not gonna read that shit. I don't give a fuck. Y'all are the same. You're the same people. You just have a little thing in your fucking head. Stop it. But that's the whole concept of replacement theory. That's the concept of replacement theory. But what is critical race theory? Because they say that. Let's go to the simple form. Critical race theory is a conceptual framework developed to understand the relationship between social conceptions of a race, ethnic, social, and political law, and mass media. Meaning, like, the way that you are, whatever race you are treated based on social, ethnic, social, political, and mass media. You know, and it's kind of true. I mean, shit, man. What people are the ones that usually are the criminals in movies for a long time? Maybe now it's changing, but for a long time, black and brown folks. That's all I saw, especially Mexicans. Shit. So it says here, CRT also considers racism to be systemic. Systemic means institutional racism, also known as systemic racism, is a form of institutional discrimination based on race or ethnic groups. Well, I mean, isn't it happening right now? Based on race or ethnic group. Institutional racism is ICE fucking pulling you over because you're a fucking Mexican. And they want to forget that part of history. Yeah, disgusting animals, man. Yeah, I said it. So what? You call me that shit all the time. It's my opinion. Doesn't make it so, but if you let it make it so in your head, then maybe you are what you are. The linkage to possessive investment in whiteness. That's why I named that class this. Silence compliance. Theories help us identify what is important in addition to allowing us to describe, predict, and better understand phenomena. Possessive investment in whiteness. Remember, that's why I got the name. What does it mean? How do we begin to make sense of this continuous attack on black and brown bodies in America? George Lipsitz, 1998-2006, has one answer. Disinvest in whiteness, writing in his seminal book, The Possessive Investment in Whiteness, How White People Profit from Identity Politics. Let me read that again. How white people profit from identity politics. Do you know what that means? What that means is that a lot of these people that are passing these laws also invested in these criminal fucking institutions, in their shares, the stock exchange, penitentiaries, the buildings, all that shit is a business. So that's what it's basically talking about, how white people profit from identity politics. By saying that we're criminals and shit, and all of a sudden they catch us all and put us in jail, so to speak. In reality, it is. And they make money from having you in jail. Internment camps, there's contracts. Think about that. Who pays for that? Who's paid for that? How white people profit from identity politics. The same way that they claim, boo-hoo, these people are evil, is how they profit to jail your ass. Lipsitz argues that the public policy and private prejudice works together to create a possessive investment in whiteness. Which is responsible for radicalized hierarchies for our society. That's why the propaganda book from 1913, I believe, or 39, whatever, I read before, tells you exactly how they manipulate people. They've been doing it for a long time. Possessive investment in whiteness, which is responsible for radicalizing hierarchies of our society. Lipsitz uses the term possessive investment in whiteness both literally and figuratively and explains whiteness has a cash value. Remember that fucking ugly looking lady that she's over there talking about what's her name? Oh my God. She was talking about the WASP. I can't remember her name. But she said that God favors them because of prosperity. That's what she said. Here we see what he says. Whiteness has a cash value, and white Americans are encouraged to invest in whiteness, to remain true to an identity that provides them with resources, power, and opportunity. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. This is so true. I'm gonna tell you why. This is so fucking amazing. This is so, man, if I could read this to my wife right now, I would bring her over here just so she could like share that with you. Because I know exactly what this means now. Whiteness has a cash value. I'll say this to you. There's a company out there that invests a lot of money in selling insurance to veterans. So the way that this organization functions is that, well, certain groups, I guess agencies that work with them, tell you to put, like, because they're basically, you provide information to these veterans about their so-called benefits. And then you try to qualify them for other products that are not technically part of their veteran shit. It's just, insurance. But the way that they do this is like, they make you as an agent put, like your background of the American flag. And then in their script, they tell you, thank you for your service to our country. I don't think our veterans hear that enough. So again, thank you. And then because they claim that they're there to help the veteran, and you got the flag behind you, and you're like, thank you for your service, bro. Because you don't even fucking care about these people. You don't know them. People are selfish. It's just a phone call. It's a stranger. And then that's it. You'll never talk to them again. They don't care. But here is what it means. Whiteness has cash value. When you sell God Loves America, it has cash value. Why do you think these Negro grifters are doing that fucking, those lives talking about Trump? I'm not kidding. It has cash value. And white Americans are encouraged to invest in whiteness. I'm telling you, family, let's put it this way. American Cholo, he has white folks following him. So he makes feria because he understands there's whiteness, that whiteness has cash value, meaning it comes with money. So like, if, for example, if I was Raza that was like, fuck you, and I'm gonna go with Trump because I want to make some money, meaning I create a channel and I talk mad shit about all of you guys, and I go pro-Trump. I put a red hat on and shit. I'm telling you, because whiteness has cash value. Because them are forced to invest in their whiteness to keep it alive, to keep it fluctuating. I think they tell you, hey, 4th of July every year. I think they have the flags all over. Why do you think you've seen a lot of people coming up with their channels going pro-Trump that are not white, but are asking for money? Listen, I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm never going to lie. I'm going to try to do my best. You know what I'm saying? To bring every sincerity that comes through my thought. But if you don't like what I say, then well, skedaddle. Go watch another channel and entertain yourself with some bullshit, because this is really what's going on right now. You guys have no idea what's going on. I hope you finally see it. We're almost done, family. Check this out. Let's see. So whiteness has a cash value, and white Americans are encouraged to invest in whiteness, to remain true to an identity that provides them with resources, power, and opportunity. However, this whiteness has no biological or anthropological foundation. You know why? Because they're all mixed. Meaning that, when everything first started, there was a lot of miscegenation. Y'all are mixed. Yet it is a social fact, an identity created, and continue with it all too real consequence for distribution of wealth, prestige, and opportunity. Which is why I was bringing out this book. Let me show you once more. It's called Occupied America. This is A brother sent me this, and I think it's very fucking interesting. I'm going to show you a little bit of this here, but I'm going to play the other video. Hopefully I don't get stopped for it.
My competitors think I have a 10-person team.
But this other video that I heard, thank you, brother Watakuya, for sending that shit. It's heavy duty. Like, fucking heavy duty and shit. So let's listen to this real quick. And then we'll skip it, and then I'll show you. We're not going to watch this at all, like hardly anything. I just want to give you pinpoints of concepts. Inside Return to the Land, the group making a white-only community in Arkansas. You see? Crackety cracks. Thinking now they can create their own little whiteness. Go back to Europe. Nobody's telling you not to be your own whiteness. Go fucking do it. But don't do it in this continent. We're here, you fuck faces. What the fuck you think? I mean, unless you want to play by those rules, we can. But you know what? Eventually, you don't like it because no one's going to do what you want not to do. Especially with your own kind. You'll starve to death. We've seen it. Especially now. You try to get your people to fucking put together some field and go out there and harvest and feed your fucking kind. You won't keep up. Listen, it ain't no fucking sprouts, okay? You know what I'm saying? You got to do that shit every day for the rest of your life, fuck faces. You got to do that shit every single day. You think your people mentality, your spirit right now, because you don't have it anymore. I'm telling you, you are this right here. You are this right here, right now. Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit in the ground. I like this translation more. The Lord says, Babylon, come down from your throne and sit in the dust of the ground. You sloppy seconds. You body count. You were once like a virgin. Body count after body count. A city unconquered, but you are soft and delicate no longer. Use a hoe. You are now a slave. This is why you talk like this. You want to do this? You can do it. Do it in Europe.
Over who are what we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
You see how he says white American? So, keep in mind, family, of what we're about to see right now. Okay? Let's speed it up. Let's go.
Based around shared ancestry, a long-winded way of saying something. Over the last year and a half, high up in the Ozark Hills in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, leveling the land, building houses. They call it an intentional community based around shared ancestry, a long-winded way of saying something really quite simple.
I think we would generally be called far right, sure.
It's called Return to the Land, and they invited me in.
A lot of people are going to be, why are you making Nazi references? Right. Well, why wouldn't I?
A seemingly bucolic and sometimes surreal experience. But this is built on a radical modern premise, made possible because of a new political and technological moment. One with strong ties to the most active far-right groups in the US. Instead of taking to the streets, they are building their own, for generations to come.
It's important for me to do this for my ancestors, my friends, my family, my children, my children's children.
For us...
You hear that bullshit? You hear that bullshit? I'm telling you. I want to get distracted with novelas and shit and cholo talk and fucking music and weekends at the parties. Come on, man. Shit's getting real, family.
People who have lived through segregation once fear it is returning.
When you hear things like that, it causes you to be fearful.
So here, check this out. Let me see. There's one sec. Here it goes right there. Right there. Check it out.
Doing here is entirely legal, and that's key. Because if it is, it could be a blueprint for many other communities to come.
Welcome to the Ozarks.
Thank you very much.
What we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, you know, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture. Yeah, not just white, but white American.
But what this sounds like.
You know what I find so funny is what economy are they basing this out of? Because they got machinery. What the fuck are you doing? Are you guys making your own machines and shit? Like where are you getting it from? Because most of these fucking pieces, they're not from here, you dumbasses. So what you over here in your secluded environment, in reality, you're still attached to the economy. So you're just a dumb ass crackety crack. For real. Anyways, I guess that's what happens when the Most High takes it all away.
Is bringing back segregation. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, I mean, it's free association. So we're not trying to keep other people down. This is a small settlement in the middle of the Ozarks.
But they are being kept out.
Well, I mean, you don't let everyone into your home.
160 acres taking shape. Forest cleared, roads laid, cabins built.
160 acres, family. Man, nobody's saying shit. I don't get it, man. I'm going to finish it with this video here because I think it's important for y'all to listen to this shit. Thank you, Warakuya, for doing this, bro.
Vaseline on facial. I'm going to have to ask the question.
This is crazy. Seriously, this is crazy right here. And I'm going to have to do it this way in case they want to say something to me. But you guys have to really listen to this right here. The way that, fuck, man, I had to, let's put it this way. We've seen Jeffrey Dahmer's, the mini bomber, the guy that blew up that fucking town in Kansas City. We've seen people walk in churches with rifles. We've seen kids shoot other kids, and it's all of them. You know what I'm saying? Check this out.
I'm going to have to ask the question. And if the answer is no, then the penalty is death. I may very well have to put a bullet in the back of my dad's head. Their views are this. They believe that society is going to collapse on its own or from man-made events, and they want to speed up the collapse of society. And they want to do it through guerrilla warfare tactics. We take out a power grid. We take out a water system by poisoning it. So at that point, I'd gained enough trust to be brought in to the murder plot. You're talking about going and buying catch bags that attach to your AR so it catches the brass so you don't leave it. We're going to leave all of our electronics at a campsite. We're going to go to a pay-by-the-hour motel. We're going to scrub ourselves, make sure there's no dead skin that can come off. When I went back to the office to run the FBI's training, I told everybody, the 19-year-old led carbine training, and it was good. They could get the drop on a lot of average Joes.
Let's talk about the base then. So I guess I hadn't heard of this group or even groups like this prior to hearing you talk about
it. A lot of people have. A lot of law enforcement hasn't.
I bet, man. And it's pretty shocking stuff that we'll be talking about. But I guess similar to the Outlaws, just explain to people kind of what this group's ideology is and then how you ended up getting into it.
Sure. So the accelerationist white supremacy view goes like this. Number one, they hate the government. So don't think Republican, Democrat, right, left. That's not it. They hate the government. They want a Hitler's Germany. That's what they want, which is what a neo-Nazi usually wants anyway. But with accelerationists, they go about it by different means. An accelerationist is their views are this. They don't believe there's a political solution that can save the white race. They believe that society is going to collapse on its own or from man-made events, and they want to accelerate. They want to speed up the collapse of society because in their mind, when the collapse of society happens, then they can come in, clean house, and have their own ethno-state. That may not necessarily mean the entire United States, but I can tell you that when I was in the base, my cell, CELL, was looking at property. My cell and the Maryland cell were looking at property in the Appalachian Mountains. There was a Northwest, Midwest, Detroit, out of Detroit area in Michigan. They were looking at property in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. The Pacific Northwest, they already had property. The leader of the base had property in the Pacific Northwest. So that kind of compound idea, we run our own thing. We are our own doctors and everything. Again, not a lot of afterthought on some of that stuff, but that's the idea. And they want to do it through like guerrilla warfare tactics. You're not going to see an accelerationist out on the street in a hood and a robe or walking down the street with signs protesting and yelling racial slurs. They don't want to do that. They believe, number one, that makes them a mark, lets everybody know who they are, and it does no good. What they believe is, let's do guerrilla warfare tactics. Let's do small attacks like we take out a power plant or power grid. We take out a water system by poisoning it. You kill lefties, you kill anti-fascists, you kill non-whites, burn their businesses, stuff like that, slash their tires, anything to create chaos, to start the downfall of society. So a lot of times when I'm teaching, I say, like, remember that year when everything was being burnt and towns were they're sitting up on a hill and they're laughing. They're like, man, we hope the cops start shooting these people start shooting the cops, when we can come in and clean up afterwards. And that is one of the plots we uncovered in that case. Something very similar. They were going to start popping rounds at a Second Amendment gun rally.
You guys paying attention to any of this stuff that's going on? I wanted to give you guys a little leeway on the overlay here because I could show that. But isn't that nuts? What are we talking about here? What kind of spirit moves like that? What kind of spirit moves like that? What kind of spirit even asks himself to kill his parents? That's fucking crazy. Was it 39? Second, let me see. Just something came to my mind. Is it? Hold on a second. Oh, I don't remember now. Let's continue.
Protest that was going to be in January of 2021 in Virginia, because the governor at that time was a Democrat. It was running pretty tough on gun control. So they knew that, like, militia, Second Amendment, 3%er people would be there. They knew there'd be protesters and probably cops. And their idea was, hey, if we can pop a couple of shots, maybe nobody knows who's it coming from.
You guys remember the fire that somebody activated over there? I don't know what state. And the firemen went in there to try to turn it off and they got shot. It's exactly what he's talking about. I'm not sure if you guys understand the nature of people. Maybe that's the problem. Let's continue.
And everybody just starts shooting each other. Maybe that's the beginning of the Boogaloo, D-Day. But I will also say that what I learned through time of being in the movement and working those types of cases and developing sources of information afterwards is that when we were doing the base and there was Adam Waffen, that was kind of like the two main accelerationist groups. Everywhere else it was kind of considered cringe. By the time, let's just say a year or two after we took down the base, like, we were being told that 90% of your white nationalist groups were all claiming accelerationism. And that's not good. And also, in most accelerationist groups that I was aware of, if you scratch the surface enough, whether they say they're pagan or the Christian identity, most of the ones I interview were pagan, but that's not to say that they're pagans for real. Just like white supremacists take the Bible to come up with the stories for Christian identity, which is not Christian. It's not Christ following. It's called Christian identity. It was totally white supremacist. They're doing that with paganism. I've got good friends who are pagans, peaceful, spiritual people, and what the white supremacy movement was doing with that, kind of like Hitler, he was looking at Norse mythology and stuff like that as well. They're taking it and twisting it to their own.
See, you have to understand what he's talked about. North mythology. Mythology. Check it. Also known as Nordic Scandinavian. Okay. North mythology. All right, so check it out. Valhalla. All of the slain is a significant concept in North mythology. Hall of Slain. It is a majestic located in Asgard, presided over god Odin. Now, I've showed you guys Odin or Wotan is the same thing. There's no difference in reality. Now, I showed you guys a book that is a connection, okay? But here's where it gets even more interesting. The same book that I showed you guys from, and I cannot remember right now, so, forgive me. Odin does mean cause. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it in my pictures. Odin. Give me a second. You'll find out pretty soon how crazy this name is. I'm trying to see if I took a picture of the book. I don't think I did. All right, let me see if I can show you guys real quick. You're going to see the word Odin mentioned several times. All right, so in this page, the word Odin is right here. They also worship the same gods as the other Germanic peoples. Preeminent among the deity was Odin, Woden, the universal father, the highest of the gods, the Lord of kings, yada, yada, yada. Thor, so to speak. Okay. Odin is, where are you at here? He's on the bottom. Check this out. But whereas the southern migrants became converted to Christianity and may be held responsible for the formation of the later Holy Roman German Empire, because that's technically what it is, family. Holy Roman German Empire. Other Germans at home long retained their pagan customs and gods, as evidenced by their deception of Odin, Woden. See? The god Odin is seen riding to Valhalla. We just read that. And here, the word is to the right. The god Odin is seen riding to Valhalla. Oh, I think we just read that. Did we just read that? Oh, I think we read that twice. Oh, that's right. It was I magnified it. So here we see Odin again. Baal. Baalim. And we have Odin there. Hold on. Let me go up. We have Odin up there. Odin, Wooden, Ba'a. Right? Let me see if I could remember. Because, it doesn't matter what I say. It only matters if I can prove it. That's the way things need to be. And I've been looking through so many books lately that on my phone, right? Because I got a lot of PDF books. And more likely, I don't know, hold on. Maybe I'll find it. Give me a second. You're going to have to bear with me real quick. Is it this one? No. I don't think, let's see. No, it's not. It's not. I have a book where it actually shows that Odin is cause. And I didn't just want to say it without proving it. But technically, Odin is cause. Okay? And cause, for y'all that don't know, is this guy. Hold on. Who is cause? Cause. Edomite. Cows, chaos, cause, was the national god of the Edomites. He was the Idumean structural parallel to Yahweh. Boy, you know who that is. Cause. I'm telling you, family, I can't remember the class either. But I did a class where I showed the book that shows this is who he is. So when you guys call him Esau, you damn right he's Esau. He's the son of Esau, the seed of
on ideology. But what we found is if you scratch enough in a lot of these groups, there's usually a member of Order of Nine Angles, or there's some other groups out there now, and those are heavily satanic white supremacy groups. And when you look at Order of Nine Angles and others of that nature, they are big, at least they're proponents of, and if you get into their chat rooms, you're going to see some horrific stuff because they're big on sexual abuse, rape, and pedophilia.
Oh,
yeah.
Like big on it, like how or why? Like
advocating for it.
How do you? But what's the justification there?
I didn't. Fortunately and unfortunately, I didn't get to infiltrate one of those groups. But yeah, I mean, this is coming out more now. It's just satanic stuff, man. So if I'm painting it into the siege culture, which is that accelerationist view, probably when the boogaloo happens, they're saying they're just gonna.
This is not a joke. I found this here, which I'm gonna do a class on it. I don't think I'll do it tomorrow. I may do it Monday. I have a cool class. It's called The Wicked Root. I already have everything I need. I go deep on this shit. These people aren't kidding. They really do this shit here. They really do this to these kids. Why do you think they have kids like that? They have them in churches. Why do you think that matters? It ain't what you think. That's some sad shit, man. That's why, I'm telling you, that's why I watch my kids. I protect my kids 100% of the time. I know what my kids are. Do you know where your kids are?
Rape kids.
I mean, I'm talking about 21, 22-year-olds. My oldest one doesn't count. I know what she is.
And women, all they want. Because people on the base said that. They were like, hey, because I told them, I'm like, hey, I asked, hey, I see we're always talking about this. We're going to get our own ethno-state. We're neo-Nazis. Yeah, bam, 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 bam. I haven't heard you guys talking about me getting our own compound or getting our own ethno-state. I haven't heard any of you guys talk about procreation for the white race. You know what I mean? And I've got a woman, but she's not being shared. So, and that's when the two of them were like, oh, we're just going to rape the women. And I went, and I smirked. And I looked at the one guy who had a girlfriend and I go, you guys don't have a lot of experience with women, do you? And they're like, well, what makes you say that? And I go, that might work for a little while, but at some point you're going to have to go to sleep and you might wake up missing a few parts, you know? So, yeah, but it just gets dark. You can just see some really bad stuff. So we started hearing about the base, I think originally from our World Working Partners, because it wasn't just American. It was a worldwide, transnational ties. I mean, we had members in the base. It ebbs and flows. Some come in and leave, but we had members in Australia, Canada, South Africa, Germany, UK, I think Norway too. Yeah, popping in.
If I didn't think this video was important, family, I wouldn't show it to you. Honestly, if I didn't think it was. I think it's extremely important. You should need to see the way. There you go, sis. Thank you. Learning the nature of people is super important. These people move around cunning and deceitful. Very true. Let me show you something. I believe it's in, yeah, sure. Hold on. Is it 18? 28? Hold on, let me see. 22? Maybe? Hold on a second, family. Maybe 20? Which one is the chapter that I saw? 28? Yeah, this is it. Okay, thank you, sis. Thank you. Thank you very much. You reminded me of this. In the book of Joshua, and again, I'm not fully subscribed to it, but I just find it, because again, there's discrepancies, but check it out. But I find it so interesting that he says this right here. Joshua chapter 28, verse 20. And Esau was a designing and deceitful man, just like you said. Cunning and deceitful. One who hunted after the hearts of men, meaning the mind, and inveigled them. Inveigled them? I'm assuming that's what it means. You know what I'm saying? Check this out. Let's look up the meaning. Is the past tense of inveigled, persuading someone to do something through clever talk, trickery, or flattery. He wants to know what you're thinking so he can manipulate your fucking mind. This is the same way that these people are being manipulated. It's the same fucking concept. Yeah, that shit is fire. Thank you, sis. That's you. Let's go.
So how do you end up getting into the base?
Well, they were actively recruiting, as they always did, which is another scary thing. Kids gaming online, or you're hitting these things where you're like Discord, Telegram, Gab. There was Wire, Riot, Threema, 4chan, 8chan, 12chan. There's all kinds of stuff. There's probably well more now. But all of those kind of sell as being encrypted, kind of like a WhatsApp kind of thing. So being encrypted, and you can do vocal calls on it, or you can talk, or you can just post. And I'm not saying that, of course, all of that's not set up for bad things, but I'm telling you, bad people go there to use that stuff. So they were recruiting actively on Gab, and I went in there and I answered some of their stuff. They always left their email at the bottom. And save your race, join the base, show some training, and then there would be a propaganda video for recruitment. And once I got in the group, the standard was this. Every video we did for propaganda had to be better than the last one. That was the rule. It's got to be better than the last one, got to be bigger and better to recruit more. So I answered, and after about a week or so of going back and forth in emails, being drilled and grilled on all kinds of things, I'm answering them, and then I was told to download the Wire app and hit their moniker, and I got my moniker, and I ended up doing, it was July of 2019, I did about an hour and 15-minute panel interview on Wire. I think it's probably like four. I think I've counted like 4 or 5 voices. I knew the leader's voice. He went by the monikers Roman Wolf and Norman Spears. Roman Wolf and Norman Spears. His real name is Ronaldo Nazzaro. An American citizen. Army. Intel. Had some kind of contracting job with the Department of Justice at one point. Villanova grad, but somewhere in there took a radicalization turn and now resides in St. Petersburg, Russia with a Russian wife and Russian kids. And I would bet, even though I'm retired, I would bet he's still on a no-fly list. But yeah, they would always say, well, he's not the leader. There's no leader in the Bay. He's clearly the leader. I mean, he was the leader.
Habakkuk 2, verse 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations. They've gone all around the world to do this shit. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. Because of men's blood, and for the violence of land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Now, keep in mind that it says this here. Revelation 13:10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. So, you know, family, keep in mind that it's saying 1492. There's no smallpox decimating us. We are the majority.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
We are the majority. You don't have enough bullets for us. You will go down. We are the majority. Crazy maggots, I'm telling you right now, you don't have enough bullets for all of us. There's no smallpox. There's no, you know what I'm saying? None of that. Everything that you've been taught has been given to you by your own prophets to teach you confusion. Their job was exactly to do that. To teach you confusion, to bring you to naught, to get you to the point where you would feel so superior, so supposedly unavailable even to the Most High. That's why he talks about this in Romans 9. He says, so then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that showeth mercy. For the scripture said unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, meaning brought you to that thought process that you would be like Obadiah and Malachi. Nobody can touch me no more. He brought you up to that mindset, that I may show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth, to bring you down to the ground.
I mean, he would hit me on the side. You've been a great asset to the ranks. You know, you're really killing it out there. And, you know, had we not uncovered things, we might have pushed it farther and maybe be my own cell leader or something. I don't know. But we started
Family, I don't promote this, but, you know, get protection.
Covering murder plots and crazy. I mean, they were saying crazy stuff, but again, saying crazy stuff.
I ran for the Attorney General.
Because I did. So, you know, anybody tries to come in this house, you know what I'm saying? You better be careful. Let's go.
Specific on like, I'm going to kill you kind of thing in a text or an email. That's a little more direct. And now I can say, yeah, you're clearly threatening me now. But just to spew hate, I mean, you can walk out in the street and say, I hate every racial slur you want. So you're sitting there, you're listening to all this crazy rhetoric, and sometimes there might be some alcohol, sometimes not. And now you're starting to hear like, if my...
Into this part. And this is sad. This is sad for the parents. I mean, I'm being real. Just, being as just a normal person. These guys ponder the concept of shooting their fucking family, man. Listen.
When the boogaloo happens, I love my parents with all my heart, but I'm going to have to ask the question, are you fascist? And if the answer is no, that automatically makes you anti-fascist, and the penalty is death. I may very well have to put a bullet in the back of my dad's head. And then the other one says, I could do it, but I'd cry myself to sleep every day. I think I'd rather somebody else do it.
See that crazy shit? Scriptures talk about that stuff. That's why I'm glad that I'm not that seed. I'm so thankful, Father. Thank you for, you know what I'm saying? Psalms 58:3 says this: the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Evildoers go wrong all their lives. They tell lies from the day they are born. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, meaning like they don't give a fuck about their parents, man. They're poison. It's like the poison of serpents. They bite the hand that feeds them. Serpents will bite. If you buy a snake, you feed it all its life. One day it'll fucking bite you thinking you food, bro. They are like the death adder that stoppeth her ear. The wicked are estranged from the womb. Check this out. Let me go back. We're almost done, fam. Thanks for sticking around. By the way, show some love. Like, share, you know what I'm saying? Subscribe if this is the first time you're watching. We're trying to push this information out. Hopefully you appreciate it. And if you're a regular, well, all praises to the Most High. Thank you for being here. Shows me support, man. Reminds me that this work is not in vain.
And then the other one says, I could do it, but I'd cry myself to sleep every day. I think I'd rather somebody else do it. And then the other one, who I thought was way more farther down the path because he was messing with 09A and stuff, actually said, you guys are farther than me. I don't think I could kill my parents. And I'm sitting there just listening going, what in the hell, man? Would you say that if your dad was sitting here right now? That's what I'm saying. Like, what are we? And then if you want to say, oh, they're just kids going through a phase and they're spewing shit. Okay. But then they took overt acts in furtherance of those crimes. Scouting houses, going by the house, looking to where they thought an Antifa couple lived. I was there. We scouted, look at it, talking about what we're going to do. The game plan changed a few times, but...
You know what that is, family? And this is why it's so important also to learn your book. Everybody has a pattern. A pattern of thought, pattern of thinking, pattern of sin. And the book always tells you. Like, first of all, James 1:13 says, let no man say he is tempted. I am tempted of God. Like, the Most High don't put this shit in you. He may send you a spirit on your ass, but you could still say no, fuckface. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he any man. I mean, this is not translated properly, to be honest with you. I'm being real with you. There's no way this is translated properly because he does send evil spirits on your ass. So I'm standing ground. I'm telling you, this is why translation and transliteration is really fucked up right now. And we have to go deeper into this. Hold on. But the point is not necessarily this interpretation. This is the point. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust. Tempted, drawn away to your lust. The thought, then the ganas to do it, and entice. Then you move forward after the ganas to do it, and when lust has conceived, then you pretty much act on it, because by this time you're not stopping. It bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it's finished, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Now, I'm sure a lot of you brothers have had this experience. Well, you got with a female, you're like, you shouldn't have, because you know what I'm saying? Probably cheating and shit. And at first it was like, yeah, this is great. And then you realize how you fucked up. The spirit leaves you. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Because I was active before I got with my wife. And then my wife and I were separated for 6 years. A little history about us. And in those moments, you know what I mean? Like, that, I was a mujeriego shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie. And man, the involvement of my sin, the way that it was like leading me to that, always the same process. It was always like this pattern towards my sin. Let me see if I can get a better, or at least a more clear one. But we are tempted when we are drawn away and trapped by our own evil desires. Tempted and drawn away. That's a pattern. It's a pattern. And trapped by our own desires. At this moment, you're kind of locked in at this moment. Then our evil desires conceive. Meaning there's nothing stopping you. And give birth to sin. Now you really fucking done it. Like, for example, let's say if I committed adultery to my wife, or like towards my wife, that I planned it out, that I saw it, and I knew it was coming, and I didn't stop myself, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it was coming, and I was like, nah. No, on the opposite. I said, nope. Let me see what it's about. I'm tempted. Let me look at these pictures. Drawn away. This is a process. It doesn't happen like so quick. Remember, we live, wake up, go to sleep, go to work. This is a prolonged situation, because this is how demons work. And trapped by our own evil desires. Then our evil desires conceive and give birth to sin. And sin, when it is full grown, give birth to death. A lot of us miss what this is saying. Evil desires. Evil desires. And gives birth to sin. Now, let me show you something. I think it's here. Pay attention to this. Matthew 12:43. When an evil spirit goes out of a person, it travels over dry country, looking for places to rest. If it can't find one, do you understand what we just read? Okay, let's go back. When an evil spirit goes out of a person, it travels over dry country, looking for a place to rest. An evil spirit. If it can't find one, it says to itself, I'll go back to my house. So it goes back and finds the house empty, clean, and all fixed up. Then it goes out and brings along 7 other spirits, even worse than itself. And they, with the 7 other spirits, including that demon, come and live there. So when it is all over, that person is worse shaped than at the beginning. This is what will happen to the evil people of this day. So I'll give an example. Very simple. Isms. addictions. Let's say you might be addicted to something, or you were, or you know somebody. They always say, I'll never do that again. Right? I'm done. I'm done with that shit. I'm done with that. I'm clean now. I'm clean, right? They say that. Okay, fine. Let's say that's true. So here's what happens. When an evil spirit goes out of a person, that's what happens. Person finally repented. Like, they're done. Like, their skin, their flesh is like, oh, I don't even want to be in this fucking skin right now. Fuck this shit. I can't even sit down. I can't even stand up. I can't even drink. I can't even eat. When that evil spirit goes out of the person, meaning like, you're like, oh shit, it's not there no more. Right? Now you went through the Malia shit. Remember, we're talking about like ism. You know what I'm saying? It travels over dry country looking for a place to rest. If it can't find one. So looking for a place to rest. So this evil spirit, like addiction, tries to fucking get into somebody else. That's what it's saying. It's trying to get into somebody else. Remember, that's why unclean spirits, like the pig in Mark 5. You know, like the pigs in Mark 5. You have to really know what the parables are about. I mean, if you don't understand, then well, maybe that's a problem. It's not that difficult to find and see these things, man, because they actually do mean something. When an evil spirit goes out of a person, remember, you repented, that moment where you're like, oh man, I'm not doing this again. Or when your family took you to the retiro and shit, and you felt really good, and you're like, you don't have no evil in you. Because that does work. You're surrounded by people that don't want to sin. That's not bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not bad. Even though it may be a bad direction or worshiping, that stuff is still not bad because you can feel it around your people. So that evil spirit leaves you. You're good. 2 or 3 weeks. All of a sudden, it travels over dry country looking for a place to rest. Now, it's trying to get into some other people. But you want to know something? You know how it is. Bad habits are hard to break. So this evil spirit is like, it likes your flesh. If it can't find one, it says to itself, I will go back to my house. So that idea of James 1 talking about these things here. We are tempted when we are, James 1:14, but we are tempted when we are drawn away and trapped in our own evil desires, meaning the spirits that use our flesh to get in. The more you sin, the more spirits you deal with. And our evil desires, not necessarily yours, and I'm going to show you how. Conceive and give birth to sin. Now, Paul talked about this the entire time. That's why he's talking about what the Messiah taught him these things. Like, bro, you just don't see it, do you? You don't understand what the hell you're dealing with in your flesh. Matthew 12:43. When an evil spirit goes out of a person, meaning every single one of y'all have that shit. And you want to know which ones are they? Predominantly these right here. 1 Peter 2:1. Rid yourselves then of all evil. No more lying. Y'all are fucking liars. Or hypocrisy. You guys are all hypocritical. Or jealousy, or insulting language. That is the basics of the demons y'all all have. 1 Peter 2:1, wherefore laying aside all malice and all guile and all hypocrisy and envy and evil speaking. This is what you have, your malice. Son malos güeyes. You guys have malice in you, bro. You guys guile. You know what guile means? Here, I'll show you. Lying, hypocrisy. You're like blatantly lying to people in their face. And all evil speaking to your own people, to your own gente. These are the spirits that you mainly deal with. Matthew 12, once again, reminds us that this is real shit. When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and findeth none. So he gets out, you know what I'm saying? You got sobriety for like 3 weeks, maybe a month. Then that shit comes back to you. Now you got this addiction again. Las ganas de volver a hacer eso que hiciste una vez. Then he said, I will return into my house, because it's possessive. This demon is, he literally is like not rent-free. Like, he lives in your skin. Like, this is the shit that you were given. that you were given to deal with. That fucking thing that you know, that other side of you, that fucked up shit of you, you know what I mean? The one that like, oh my God, I need to control that thing every often. That's the spirit making sure that you control the mind. That's the fire. That's the will at work. Because you ain't paying attention to sin no more. Now you're just battling your mind. Because, sin comes through the flesh. And if it controls your mind, then you're done. But if you're just battling your thoughts, then you're good. You're better. Because the less you do, the less you're active on. I mean, it makes sense. So when these unclean spirits go out of the man, eventually they will not come back very often or have enough power. Here's how we know. Then he saith, I will return into my house from where I came out. And when it's come, he find it empty, swept and gone. It's meaning all cleaned up compared to what he liked it. Then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, which is why you see people in addiction predominantly where you see it more explicit when they quit and then they come back and they get fucking really bad. Like they have, they have a slip and all of a sudden they go worse in their addiction. That's exactly why, because the spirits took like 7 other motherfuckers in there. Like, I'm going to destroy your shit. But I'm going to say something to you. What that really means also is that your inner spirit is trying to wake the fuck up. It's trying to wake you the fuck up. If you can understand the depthness of how bad that is, then that means there's an opposite to that. When you start seeing that about you, then maybe, just maybe, you'll start seeing what the Most High has prepared for you. Then goeth he and taketh away with himself 7 other more wicked spirits than himself, and they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. Even so shall it be also unto this wicked generation. So this is why Paul was talking like this in this chapter right here. And why I'm just going to skip it real quick to give you a point. Where's it at? 7? I believe. Yes, 7. Romans 7:23. It says, for I delight in the law of God after the inward man, meaning the spirit. But I see another law in my members. You see the spirit that goes into the flesh. You see the Messiah, Mashiach. Explain to him, bro, you're dealing with certain things. And this is how you combat those things. Warring against the law of my mind. So you see the flesh. You see the actual, you see the flesh fighting the mind, bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from this body of death? O wretched man that I am. This is the understanding of knowing here, Matthew 12. So when you're going through some shit, or you see your brother going through some shit, you need to understand that this is what he's going through right here. Because this is not a joke. This is heavy duty. Addiction is not fucking easy. You're right. Losing people to addiction it's just horrible. Because that's what it is. They have taken over. They take over. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And our gente didn't really understand what it was telling us in this very moment. Even though, you guys are all up in this book when it comes to Christmas Christianity. The book is not difficult when you're being called of the Most High. And I'm not saying that we're mighty better than anybody, but it should be very easy and simple to understand that there are requirements still to this day. Nobody died for your sins. You still have to stop sinning. I mean, it even says it in the New Testament. You guys hate it so much. It says here, James 2:17, even so faith, if it had not works, it is dead being alone. So like people say, oh, God loves me, even though you're in sin. No, you got to stop. Like, dude, I had a fucking difficult day today with fucking lusting. Are you crazy? I'm being honest, fam. Oh, man. It was one of those demon days. I'm over here battling with the mind. Like, bro. Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith and I have works, show me thy faith without thy works, meaning like I could act on it and then say, I'm sorry, God, please forgive me. I can do that. But I don't think it's that fucking easy. Yeah, a man may say, thou hast faith and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works. I will show thee my faith by my works. Meaning, if you say you love somebody, you don't just say it, you actually prove it. You prove it. You show the works. You show the works.
You're talking about going and buying catch bags that attach to your AR, so if you do have to shoot, it catches the brass so you don't leave it. You're talking about using a revolver, using a silencer so no brass is ejected. You're talking about research that has been done to the point to where we're going to leave all of our electronics at a campsite. We're going to go to a pay-by-the-hour motel. We're going to scrub ourselves, make sure there's no dead flake skin that can come off, Vaseline on facial hair, balaclavas so nothing drops, like hazmat. You're going to tape your sleeves to your gloves, your pants to your boots. And the eventual plan was four of us were going to enter. One was going to stand guard at the front bay window, while me and the other one, I was requested to go and help murder everybody. And it didn't matter if they were kids or animals. They didn't care. And then we're going to set the house on fire.
Damn. I don't know what you guys want to call those guys, but I'm going to call them this right here. Psalm 64:6 says this: they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep, meaning they do research this shit. There are wicked nations that have this ability. Don't get me wrong. Very structured, but that doesn't mean they're very smart. They make evil plans and say, we have planned a perfect crime. The human heart, the mind is a mystery. You see this? So don't put it in anybody's opportunity to fucking be evil. You guys seen that movie, Seven? That movie's crazy. That fucking little man and shit was killing people in a very methodical fucking way. And I truly believe that, I mean, especially them, you know what I'm saying? If you look at all the serial killers, who are all of them? They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Now, he's specifically also talking about a wicked ass people because they're dealing with something else and they don't even know it.
And burn it to the ground. That was one. The other plot was with the Maryland kind of Delaware crew, and that was the one on the gun rally. But those guys, the Baltimore FBI, unbelievable case agent, Rashid Harrison.
It's not digging I hate. It's realizing I've been digging in the wrong place.
He was working it so hard out of Baltimore and the case team in Seattle and everywhere else. Everybody was busting their tail, but they got a Title III wiretap, and they were watching these two guys in their apartment and listening to the conversations there. Holy cow. Like I thought some of the stuff I heard them say was crazy, like when I was there, but the stuff they were coming up with on their own in an apartment, I was like, dude, I mean, the dude's got a 6.5 Creedmoor with a $6,000 thermal scope. They made a ghost gun for the Canadian who had absconded here illegally after being found out of being a white supremacist. They actually messed up because when they went to shoot it, they made the ghost gun, but they went to shoot it, it was double firing every time. So they changed that because they were getting stared at. They didn't want to have something illegal. And he had a thermal scope. And I helped them sight them in. But they were talking stuff like take out a cop at night, you know, because if you take out a cop, well, as soon as he's done with the car stop, whatever pulls up, boom, just pop him right in the head.
Hey, you know, this is a good point because these spirits have to go into something. You know what I'm saying? They have to go into something. True, Lamishi, we need to repent for the sins of our ancestors, for ourselves too, not just them. Specifically us more than anything. Ask the Messiah to clean, restore our bloodline, that's for sure. Here is a very interesting story where you see a man and he's got demons. I can relate to a lot of this, unfortunately, because my son has experienced a lot of this crazy shit. But what I'm trying to prove here is this. Mark 5:7, and cried with a loud voice. This is after, they're talking. What have I to do with thee, Mashiach, thou son of the Most High? I adjure thee by God that thou torment me not. For he said unto him, come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. And he asked him, what is thy name? And he answered, saying, my name is Legion, for we are many. So this brother that's really effed up in the mind has demons. We read in Matthew 12 how that works. We read in Romans now in 7:23 how Paul was understanding that. We read in James how the pattern of thought is evil. And where does that evil come from? It doesn't necessarily come from you. It comes from an evil spirit. So you need to decipher you and that evil spirit. You need to separate from that shit first and foremost. And he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country. You see this? And he besought him much. Here, I'll read it easier. I'll go to 9. So Jesus asked him, what is your name? The man answered, my name is Mab. Muchos. There are so many of us. And he kept begging the Mashiach not to send the evil spirits out of that region. But what does he do? There was a large herd of pigs nearby feeding on the hillside. This is why they're unclean. So the spirits begged the Mashiach, send us to the pigs and let us go into them. He let them go when the evil spirits went out of the man and entered the pigs. The whole herd, about 2,000 pigs in all, rushed down the side of the cliff into the lake and was drowned. Why do you think they did that? Suicide. Suicide. Where do you think they go? To their home. There's something that says, don't be afraid of him that destroys the flesh only. Be afraid of him that destroys the flesh and the spirit. So these things are for real. They went into the pigs because they're unclean. Do you understand that parable right there? An unclean individual will attract unclean spirits. We're almost done.
You go down there, now you get a bulletproof vest, you get another weapon, you get ammo, whatever things they've got because it was all about building your kit. Everybody's building their kit, man. Some people are got a good kit going, some are just starting. This is the best gear to get. Condor sucks or whatever they want to say, and then you need to get this stuff. I mean, some of these guys were no jobs. Other than maybe a side hustle here and there. I'm talking there's no 9 to 5, right? And they've got several guns, a lot of ammo. They've got plate carriers. They're wearing Cry Precision JPC plate carrier. That's the same thing FBI SWAT wears, same thing HRT wears. I'm like, where did you get the money for that shit, Now they didn't have any like Daniel's Defense weapons or anything, but they had good stuff. And you see all that and all that planning. And then we were able to collect evidence of them doing acts in furtherance of to appease the local solicitors or DA's office and the United States Attorney's office. And we ended up taking it down like the week of the 17th in January of 2021. Is that right? 2020. No, 2020. Sorry, COVID year. COVID was already here. Nobody was calling it COVID yet. It was 2020. Yeah. So 2019, that was only a 7-month case for me, but it was a fast-paced, almost 24/7 case because the more people you identify, the more cases are being opened, and they're being opened all over the United States in different field offices. So once a month, we would get everybody, case teams and everybody on one call. There was over 100 people on the call. you know, and you're dealing with overseas and you're dealing with this. And yeah, they ended up, that was some crazy stuff with that group. But we were able to thwart the attack.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I'm
Watch me make a pitch deck in less than 60 seconds.
The craziness about that shit. Do you understand the craziness about that? Man. Anyhow, all right, so I think we're all set. I'm gonna call it a night because it's about to be 11:30 on my time. Let me play some stuff real quick and I'll call it a night. All right, fam. Hope it was, edifying, or at least, providing you with information and some scriptures to connect with the history of what we're going through here. And write down those books that I shared. Those books are important. Seriously, like, don't just go by what I shared. Grab the book and read it. Like, read the whole thing. You'll see some other stuff. You know what I mean? We all have different minds. We're going to see different things. Anyways. All right, family, let's finish it up. Have a good night. I don't think this has a sound, by the way. Oh, it does. No, it doesn't. It does not. So, I played this the other day. Oh, man, I wish I would have put some music with it. If you can read the messages, you didn't hate us in the cold, rainy days. You didn't hate us when we worked with the pandemic and many farmers and workers didn't make it. You didn't hate us when you found... Here, let me go back. Let me go back. I'll read it. Hold on. You didn't hate us when you realized we were the reason there's food in your grocery stores. You didn't hate us when we worked through hazardous wildfire smoke so your food didn't rot. You didn't hate us when you knew it was too hot to work outside, yet we showed up for you. You didn't hate us the cold and rainy days you needed to eat. You didn't hate us when we worked the pandemic and many farm workers didn't make it. You didn't hate us when you found out the hazardous pesticide exposure farm workers endured to pick your food. Damn. You didn't hate us when we gave you the convenience to focus on your dreams while we put aside ours to pick your food. You didn't hate us when you enjoyed your holidays and we worked them. You didn't hate us because you didn't hate us before you didn't hate us before you were convinced we were illegals and criminals. I showed you guys books that this is historical. The illegal part. They don't like that shit. Keep calling them illegals. You illegal alien, Anglo. You Anglo illegal alien. You didn't hate us before you were convinced we were illegals and criminals when we were actually the indigenous caretakers of the land, begging to be heard so that we can save this planet we all call home. You guys read this? You didn't hate us before you were convinced we were illegals and criminals when we are actually the indigenous caretakers of the land, begging to be heard so that we can save this planet we all call home. This is in this guy's podcast. This guy has a lot of subscribers. But as you can see, look at the hate. This isn't love. This is hate. This guy has more than 200 and something subscribers. Look how many people like this shit. So you see how many people actually care about... I mean, remember, family, you know what I'm saying? It's nations, man. At the end of the day, they always think for themselves. That's why you got to focus on your family and your people. Not with the intent to hurt them. Let the Most High handle that shit. Look at this. And this isn't the only job they can do. They actually enjoy this, man. I've met people that enjoy this. That actually enjoy this. Not that they have to do it, that they enjoy it. Remember, possessive investment in whiteness. think it's clear now what that actually means. Let me see if I can play this real quick. Where's that song that I've... Oh, well, you know, whatever. I'm going to play this one. I haven't played in a while. All right, family. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for being here. I hope it was informative. And look out for your people. Examine yourselves. Take care of your surroundings. Love your family. Respect your parents. Honor your marriage. Love your kids. Self-reflect every day. Make sure you have a higher standard for yourself this time. I think now you should be proud of who you are. No one should take that away from you. It's very simple. Look who you are. You've come this far. Have a good night.
Yo, 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 yo. Las líneas que parten el mundo. Yo, el meridiano.
Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc.
En una simple frase te explicaré cómo es mi gente. Si maltratas a un carnal, te devora la serpiente emplumada, va en picada, desquiciada el águila real. Le arrancará la cabeza a quien dañó su nopal.
Somos un ejército cautivo esperando la señal pa' comerme al enemigo. Huitzilopochtli, dime si es rival o amigo. Que del ejército mexica tus guerreros siguen vivos.
Soy un monstruo con la pluma, mis rimas envenenadas. Hoy me llaman Quetzalcóatl, soy la serpiente emplumada. Dueño de la tempestad y del tempo está muy claro. Un diluvio de verdad en la instrumental soy Tlaloc.
Certero en mi disparo, hilo y camino, el flechador del cielo. Pero con rimas, cultura de mi tierra que nunca se acaba, con águilas y estrellas que vuelan desde la nave. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc.
Como aquí, bro, te juro no existen dos. Si voy a creer en alguien, solo va a ser en mi Dios. Yo me encomiendo a mi madre, que me cuida y me protege entre sierras. Amor de tonas y claro, sí, amor de mi madre tierra.
El que nunca falla, el de sangre maya. El que va dejando huellas al que buscan y no hallan. El que da la talla, el que triunfa y calla. Al que copian y se basan, soy el calendario maya. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc.
Yo soy guerrero de orgullo moreno. Mis dioses son verdaderos. Tlacozontli es el que cuida mis caminos y senderos.
Mi tierra pinta paisajes de autor, la naturaleza es una obra de amor donde el artista se expresa. Mira y aprecia el arte de Xochipilli, mi diosa de la belleza.
La guerra, el arte tienen cercanos roces. Netzahualcóyotl, rey con tintes de dioses. Un guerrero, poeta y muy pocos lo conocen. Hoy te lo recuerdo yo, el Sensontle y 400 voces.
Guerreros y leyendas que la historia a veces calla. Dioses de un ayer, de un hoy y de un mañana. Yo me encomiendo a Cuauhtémoc y Pachita es quien me sana. En mi sangre sigue viva la cultura mexicana. Que sepa el mundo que soy de orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo la sangre de un indio todoterreno. en fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc. Que sepa el mundo que soy orgullo moreno. Ande donde ande, no olvido de dónde vengo. Traigo en la sangre de un indio todoterreno. En fuego como un 10 son los pies de Cuauhtémoc.
Yeah, man, real bomba clock and I set the volume 8. This is the music from the my niggas. Yeah, man. Oh, ribby damn, ribby damn. Hey, la 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 la. You man a tribute from Black Uhuru Ray. Hey, hey, hey. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Por soñar soñé que todo cambiaría, por pensar pensé. Luchar a sangre fría sin perder la fe. Viviendo el día a día, vas con sentimiento que marcó mi sinfonía. Darle pan al que no puede comer, darle bendición al que sepa renacer. 3000 errores solemos cometer, pero solo un gran hombre lo sabrá reconocer. Y me di cuenta hoy de tantas cosas, algunas crudas, otras bastante hermosas. Son los más sabios, personas poderosas, no aquellos bastardos que destrozan nuestras prosas. Es la perdición, mala situación de manchar tu corazón por tu mala acción. Dame una razón para darte mi perdón. Siento que tu alma se consume como el humo de este blon. Derramo poesía, arte mensajero que reclamo cada día. Pretendo ser sincero, más comparto mi alegría con todo caballero que mantenga la presión cuando andamos bajo cero. Sentimientos perdidos con calma, malos actos mancharon tu alma. No pide perdón quien dispara el arma, no sabe que un ladrón se bate con el karma. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. One I can get respect from volume 8. My niggas on volume 8, this is key on the studio respect. Alright, alright, alright. Bad boy kills, criminal of sound and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Below the time like this. Bad boy kills, criminal of sound and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Below the time like this. Bad boy kills, criminal of sound and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Oh. La 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 la. When I can just smoking from the studio up the on. And when I can just put a nigga on the floor. When I live a sound. Oh them, ah. Bye bye rhythm, bye bye sound in la la la.
Soy del país que no se raja, papá, del mariachi la baraja, que trabaja y no se cuaja ni por una paga baja. De esa tierra soy, donde crecen los nopales, donde millones de madres parieron a mis carnales, a mi gente pues, la de piel color canela, la que viste de guarache, de sombrero y de franela, la que canta, la que celebra la muerte, la que se rompe su madre con aquel que le haga frente. Soy de aquí, la tierra del maíz y del mezcal, del café no ya de barro y de la tortilla con sal, de la solidaridad, de la causa que lo merezca, donde un taquito hermano no falta quien te lo ofrezca. De esa tierra, la del trueque y la cocoa, donde por los cielos vuela glorioso mi Quetzalcóatl. Tierra santa, donde el oro no deslumbra, donde no todo se compra y la carencia no te espanta. Y es que dime cómo no quieres que ame tanto esta tierra, si aquí nacieron mis hijos y aquí me ha criado la abuela, aquí gastó mis suelas desde que soy un enano. Es mi orgullo, mi paisano, haber nacido mexicano, y hasta el día en que yo me muera bendita será mi tierra, es mi hogar. Feliz de ver ondear esta bandera, feliz de haber nacido donde los mariachis tocan. Salucita, momento en el que nuestros vasos chocan.
México, tierra de arraigo, tradición y fe, fuego en el pecho que me llama a ser aquel guerrero en que renaceré. México está en la sangre y en el alma ser, pueblo bendito al que me entregaré, savia pura de maguey.
Soy un rapero bien honrado que le gusta lo mejor. Las mujeres no me faltan, ni el dinero ni el amor. Cuando estoy en el Tenampa me llaman el desesperado. Hay tantas aventuras en esta tierra de encanto. Escucha mi cantar, voy con las penas ahogadas. El tequila siempre fiel, el mariachi me acompaña. ¡Viva México, señores! ¡Vivan sus trabajadores! Que todos nuestros campos sigan regalando flores. Y la luz entre magueyes donde el sol quema duro, donde los niños nacen con espíritu puro. Inquebrantables somos, crecemos, trabajamos. Las deudas no perdonan, honor al adversario. Lloran las guitarras, apuntan las trompetas. Fusilamos la mentira y de paso la tristeza. Festejamos a los muertos, estamos medio vivos. En las peores situaciones nos mantenemos unidos. Somos los sobrevivientes, los hijos de la injusticia, los que brincan la frontera arriesgándose la vida. Y no estamos huyendo, no es cuestión de cobardía. Este sistema nos obliga porque faltan garantías. ¿Qué puedo hacer? Nada más que sentir orgullo por haber nacido aquí. México es número uno, hijo del pueblo como José Alfredo me conocen. Por todo el mundo encontrarás a la raza de bronce.
México, tierra de arraigo, tradición y fe, fuego en el pecho que me llama a ser aquel guerrero en que renaceré. México está en la sangre y en el alma ser, pueblo bendito al que me entregaré, savia pura de maguey.
Somos lo que somos, unos mexicanos. Suena México, sí señor.
Yo soy mexicano hasta la madre, hijo del cocho.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.